we are live now. I pressed started record, so you guys will get a nice little record thingy.
Sketchy whore.
Ooh, she's hot. Hey, what? She ain't bad looking.
If I want a goth bitch, I'll just go find a new one.
I like hot singers. There we are, it's working.
It seems a little low.
Volume seems a little low?
From right here. No, just through my phone.
Oh.
So if it's low for you guys, just turn up your volume. Well, you know, what we always do. No, but look, okay, here's what I'm dealing with a clip I made.
Okay.
I'm going to play it for you guys real quick just for shits and giggles, so that way you can hear the hilarity and you can laugh your ass off or be offended, like some people who are leaving comments.
My house, my friends are around, they ask me stupid questions because I have no shame. My buddy goes, yo, would you let a guy take care of you from the back for $10 million? Yeah, I don't even know why you started that night. You could have locked me in at $150,000. I said, you got a hard question? He goes, you're kissing this woman. Everything gets hot and heavy. You take off all her clothes. You find out she's got a piece of deal. $10 million, you do it? No. 15 has nothing to do with the money. If that shit's bigger than mine, I can't emotionally overcome it. My father's in the living room. He comes out all mad. Hey, what do you mean no? I said, you would do it? I'd do it right now for $500. I said, you didn't understand the question. Yes, I understand the question. I'm no stupid. You kiss this girl, you take off the pants, you find out she got a piece of deal, and now she's one of these in transmission people. I said, so you know she has a penis? Yeah. Well, why would you do it? Because if you use your imagination, it make you feel very good as a man. I regret to this day asking him what he was talking about. He says, what's got to be from the bank? Because in my stuff, you cannot touch her stuff because that's disgusting. Then you got to start like you normally do, back and forth. Nice, easy, take your time, no rush. She's not going nowhere. Then when you both get excited, you got to reach around and grab the piece of deal. No grab you on, it's not going to work. You got to grab the transmission and piece of deal. When you got your hand on the piece of deal, close your eyes, and I guarantee it feel like your piece of deal is so big it come out the other side.
Clearly he has thought about this.
Yes. He's gone through his head multiple times.
My house, my friends are around me.
But I've got like 1,000 to 2,000
Yeah.
likes on that one alone because I cut it and I put right next to it, laugh my ass off,
Yeah.
hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Because when I heard that, I was waiting for Connor, my kid, to come to the car so that way I could take him to go do some stuff he had to do yesterday. And while I was waiting, just scrolling through reels on Instagram, because I like listening to a few of them and I like looking for the funny ones. I found that one.
Yeah.
I started laughing my ass off, so I had to record it. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna clip this some bitch. I'm just gonna add, maybe it'll be like one or two of my other little clips I've done that to.
Yeah.
Where I'll get attention or a million people will like it, and then they'll be like, hey, look, I'm famous online again.
I'm saying this to Gostell so that she can jump in the comments.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me, I should probably send it to Twitter. Maybe we'll
Probably.
get more people to watch it. Look at my face phone. But anywho, well, I mean, you said you didn't watch Mando from this week. You watched parts of last week, which I want to call you for saying that, but okay.
I watched parts. I watched the really awesome clip where one, Grogu is training to be a Mandalorian, and two, the other one where it shows them going back to Order 66 days, and we get to see a certain person from the past recast as a new character.
What do you mean recast as a new character?
The Jedi?
The black guy?
Yes.
That's this week's, not last week's.
Yes, that's what I said. I watched a bit of last week's and a bit of this week's. Enough to know.
You
the
said you
plot
watched
story.
parts.
Yes.
Fuck that. Watch the whole thing.
I was saving so that I could watch it with Gostell, and she'd asked me if I'd watched it yet, and if she was gonna watch it with me, and I said, yeah, we'll watch it together and stuff. And then a bunch of shit happened, and the kids want to hang out, so they haven't watched it yet. Yeah. So we'll talk more about it next week, and I actually kind of want to make it a thing where we're talking Mandalorian for the next like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks while the show's airing, and then maybe do like a rundown of like each episode. It'd be kind of cool because like we don't do that often anymore. But
well, it depends on how I'm feeling, but okay.
yeah. That's just the thing is this is kind of the podcast where we bullshit and talk about stuff and then derail ourselves and then we talk more about whatever we're going to talk about and then we eventually go back to it
forth.
and we slowly review it. In fact, there was episodes from like a year ago, 2 years ago, where we literally like for 3 or 4 episodes we were reviewing a series as we went along while talking about everything else. So I was just like going, we could do that again.
That's kind of what I do. It's just okay. This is the part I liked. This part was interesting. I'm not sure about this part.
Yeah.
And because you're the video geek.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Mr. wants to make movies and turn all your shit into TV shows. What do you think? That's like the whole viewpoint from my point of view.
Yes.
'Cause that's where you want to go. You want to do the TV shows and movies. I just want to be the guy smoking the cigar who owns everything or name is on everything. I just sit back and go, God, it's so nice to be a billionaire sitting on my fat ass doing nothing. What do you mean doing nothing? You spend like 5 hours in the gym. Yeah, that's doing nothing. 50 years old, fit as shit, you know?
Yeah, so, in case you guys don't already know, if you guys haven't been told a million times, I'm TPAW.
The Karnage.
Yep. And we're going to talk about, as you've previously been indicated, probably Star Wars for a bit. He was talking about stuff that he'd heard on another podcast about the Earth and Mars and asteroid belts and stuff. And then
No. That's old facts.
Hmm.
Because the stuff I always... It's just one of the things that pops up every once in a while on my reels or shorts or, you know, one of the, like, minute to 5 minute little snippets that people do. One of the ones that I always think is funny, people are like, well, we're ruining our world by all the metals we dig up, and those are the metals that are used in your phones and and lithium, like your lithium batteries and all this stuff, that the cobalt and whatnot, and some of the third world country mines, that the way they dig them up and poison themselves, and they're poisoning generations because there's let's see, Joe Rogan with one of his people that he had come on his show there was something about showing them the mines where they do cobalt, and it's the lady who's got a kid on her back or belly, or she's pregnant and mining cobalt
on her belly, but she's pregnant. That sounds like double.
No. These women are either pregnant or have the kid with them while they're mining the cobalt.
Yeah.
Which then goes to somebody else, then goes to somebody else, then goes to another refinery like 3 or 4 steps down the line that gets sold to Tesla, iPhone, Samsung, all these plants, all these companies. And my thing is, because we were talking about, I don't even remember how it got brought up, it was when I was in high school, about most of the places where they go dig up this stuff on Earth are, let's see, comets are the ones that I think are ice. So it's meteors that have hit the Earth. That's where they're, hang on a sec, there's a hair on there. Nope, that's just going to stay. Okay, but where meteors have hit, that's where all the mines are for titanium, lithium, cobalt, all these things. They're from places that have been hit by meteors. So we go to the asteroid meteor belt, because it's an asteroid till it hits the planet, till it's coming in, then it's a meteor.
Yeah.
So that's like it's lava till it comes out, then it's magma. Or it's magma, then it comes out and it's lava. I can't remember which way it is.
I think it starts out as magma,
yeah,
before it turns into lava.
It's lava because it hit oxygen. It's like, my blood's blue until you cut me open, then it's red. What the fuck? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the technicality. It's the same crap. If we want the metals, it's the go. Like I was saying today when we walked in, need just set up a system, send out either robotic stuff to go get it, bring it back to Earth, and then we'll give ourselves like a ring, like I think it's Neptune and
It's Neptune that has the ring around it.
there's another one. Saturn?
Yeah, it would be Saturn, yeah.
Yeah, we just, like, it's bringing it here, because we're already starting that with all the, like, debris from the old dead satellites. But if we line them all up, hey look, we look like Neptune and Saturn. We're no longer a little bitch planet, now we're a cool planet, because we have a circle around us, like the rest of them, that are cool, and all the way out there. But, I mean, well, no, that's just where my brain went for a little snippet. But, I mean, it's the thing that the asteroid belt, which is just past Mars, has all these asteroids and meteors, basically, that have all the elements that we use for all of our products to become, you know, more efficient, not destroy the planet.
You just realized something.
But if, but hang on a sec. But Dad said it's too expensive, and you said it's that's a fact.
Well, no, I didn't necessarily.
But you also said that's kind of bullshit that it costs that much to get out there because we should already be there. And I said it's only because the idiots who are in charge and have all the money.
I really didn't say much of it. Right. But I honestly think that we should be spending more on space travel and more on Earth efficiency than we are on wars. Than we are on
Elon, come get me. I have ideas on how to tell the people who actually own everything and own the money before you owned all the money and are the public eye richest man of the world, even though you're like 10th or 20th down the line if you look from the actual viewpoint.
Yeah.
The families that actually own the banks.
Yeah, the people that are not discussed by media.
I mean, they haven't been discussed in 40, 50 years.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't even remember the name of them, but I mean, some of the shorts and some of the stuff I go through, they pop up. It's this family owns everything, and they're the ones that started the banks.
Yeah.
Because the Federal Reserve is why we have all of our money, because all the gold's there. Actually, there's nothing there anymore. There's no longer gold. There's no longer diamonds or silver or any of that. Y'all fuckers full of shit.
Yeah. I found it funny though that the thing was the trying to remember exactly what Valley Bank it was, but it was a bank actually that went down recently.
Yeah, in Silicon Valley.
That's my brain couldn't remember the name. Yeah, Silicon Valley Bank actually went down.
And in Vegas.
Yeah, isn't that like?
No, but see, here's the thing though. I heard something earlier today that kind of explains it. They're like, well, here's what it is. But they were saying this was going to happen like 2-3 years back.
Yeah.
So I just laugh at it because my mind went there like 20 years back. When my first kid was born, my brain went, oh, they're going to try to fuck us eventually.
Oh, they're already.
Oh, dude, they've been doing that. Because, I mean, look at Andrew.
Yeah.
Tate. I mean, I've sent you a lot of the stuff, like the snippets about, like, well, if he's actually, like, guilty, why haven't they charged him with anything? And you know, they can only hold him for so long. Eventually, he's going to get out. And when he gets out, he's going to come at you fuckers full force, and y'all are just screwed.
They collapsed the Silicon Valley Bank on March 10th. Silicon Valley Bank failed after a bank run, marking the second largest bank failure in United States history, the largest since the 2007-2008 financial crisis.
Bullshit.
It was one of 3 March 2023 United States bank failures. I just Googled it.
No, that's fine. but no, I'm saying them putting that on is their propaganda for it, because even Google's owned.
Yeah.
There's like 1 or 2 search bar websites that aren't bought. I mean, even Bing's bought because how popular it is.
Yeah.
It's another bought media outlet. But no, the thing is because China's turning into this social credit, this social everything, digital banks, which basically means okay, so the people in charge of everything, who pretend to let it be the government, and that's supposedly who the public views as important and in charge, even though technically we're not in charge of shit.
Mm-hmm.
We're just little cogs in the machine, keep working, or we'll just replace you with another cog.
Yep.
It's the thing that they're trying to change us to digital income. What the fuck, dude?
That was my knuckle popping.
Yeah, I heard it through your mic. That sounded weird as fuck. But anywho, it's the thing that they're trying to change us to the things that have always been shown in digital, like in movies. For the future, it's all digital.
Mm-hmm.
Your credit is attached to what you say online. That's why I'm fucked, so I don't care. What are they gonna do? Well, okay, if money's fake, nothing really exists, because men are no longer men and women are no longer women, so women no longer exist, so quit crying about women equality. Because you're letting men pretend they're women and come do all your sports and take all your trophies. I even sent you, and I know I sent it to Judy, short, you'll have to look for it here in a minute, about how the other female that was swimming with the trans that was swimming, they both got there at the exact same time. The timing was down to the millisecond. They both got there at the exact same time. But because it's trans and it'll help us politically, we're giving it the trophy.
It's called a draw.
Oh no, because everything's woke and we have to pander to the idiots. That's like I've seen a couple, and I think I sent them to you. I don't remember. But there's this gay guy, like, I don't want to be, no, it's not LGBTQ. Fuck you, it's LGBTQ. Fuck T. Because they're trying to turn all this shit into, because trans is sexual. Transsexual has nothing to do with, I'm gay, so I like guys. Lesbian, like a woman likes a woman. We're bisexual. It has, all of our stuff has to do with sexual. Transsexuals are basically trying to either separate themselves into each little thing, like one's transgender, one's transsexual, which means you want to be a man when you're fucking your wife or girlfriend, instead of actually being a lesbian, which means you're like all other lesbians, you want to put on a strap-on, but you want it surgically attached.
Interesting way of putting it.
Or you're a man, instead of getting fucked in your ass like a fag, you want them to cut a hole, and then you basically have to fuck yourself with something to keep your wound open, so that way it stays open so you can get railed.
Yeah.
Instead of just taking it in the ass and shutting up and being a fag.
I mean,
You want to pretend to be a girl, so that way you have tits and you can play with boobs. If you want to get if you have the money and want to get the surgery to give yourselves breasts,
okay.
Marilyn Manson did that in the fucking late 90s. So fuck off, go get yourself a fake pair of tits and play with them while your boyfriend fucks you in the ass.
I don't see that going very well with that community.
But I mean, do you see my viewpoint though? It's the, I want to be different than gay. I want to be different than queer. Do you know what queer and gay actually means?
Well, queer
Or the original gay?
and gay just simply means happy.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Queer and
necessarily
gay,
say
the original words are I'm happy.
Yeah.
And most people are happy when they're horny. Not always, but most people. Especially men.
I guess
Because
that
that's why that's why guys who like guys are called gay, because they're happy because they're dicks and they want to fuck another guy. I just want to put my dick in a hole and you got a hole, bend over.
Isn't that like any gender though? Like any gender would do that? Like if they're hot and bothered enough?
See? So it's all complete bullshit. It's all brainwashing.
Like, honestly,
See, the only
whether
thing
you're
that's
a
not
chick or a dude,
brainwashing
where you're a person
is-
identifies a certain way,
is
you find a
gay,
hole, you wanna fuck it.
lesbian, and bi.
Mhm.
And bi is basically double queer. Where lesbian is the same thing as gay. It's just queer for your own sex.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically it's all the same thing. We're all Q's, so shut the fuck up. We're all happy to fuck somebody. Either you like getting railed or you like being the one railing somebody. Are you a bottom or a top, bitch? And if you're a bottom and you're a man and your wife likes being a top, I hope you like getting pegged in your asshole because you're a closet fag who wants to get fucked by a pair of tits. So here's something to play with afterwards. My asshole hurts, let me cuddle with your boobs.
I don't know, regardless of whatever sexuality you are, it's just, I'm still like going, why would they give it to the one person? If they both arrived there at the exact same time, why would you give it to one person over the other when really it's obviously a tie, or just do a rematch?
Well, that's why I thought the gay guy was funny, because he's like, I'm tired of this shit, because you're putting sexual things in elementary schools and middle schools and high schools. People are already looking at this shit anyways. Leave them the fuck alone, let them grow up and figure out who they are, and just love them as who they are.
Right. Like my eldest son, Aryan, who just like sometimes will one day go, I'm girl Aryan. And I'll be like, okay.
But see,
like,
you can't do that. No, you're a boy, shut up.
He's a child.
Go play.
He's a
But
child,
no,
he's figuring out who he is.
See, the issue I have with it is, oh, you like the, like, people like me.
Mm-hmm.
If I grew up nowadays, you like playing with dolls, like Barbie and Ken with the girls? Yeah, because that's like the only people that are around me. I have no guy friends.
Also, why are we genderizing toys? You know,
Why are we... No. See,
Phoenix,
it's
Phoenix
not even
plays
that.
with both girl and boy toys. She doesn't care.
It's not that. It's the, oh, you like boy stuff, but you're a girl. That means you're trans. No, that means my brain says I like things more than I like people, so go fuck yourself. That's not a male. That's not a female. That's just who you are. Because there are enough men who like feminine things, people, as much as there are enough females who like male things, which are things. Men like things, masculine people like things, feminine people like people.
I don't know, I think they both like things.
No. Shut up, you dirty bastard. This isn't Pornhub. We're not on Pornhub. Although I bet you I could find a way to link and put our asses on Pornhub for some of the shit we say. I could probably download a few episodes and get us our own Pornhub account for the podcast. No, dude, I was looking for some random thing. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'm like, let's see if it's on Pornhub. No, but there was a podcast about it on Pornhub. I'm like, people are actually putting up podcasts on Pornhub. I'll have to remember that factoid to tell Thomas, because that'll be hilarious on one of our freaking podcasts.
It's like take like a couple YouTube shorts, just clip them, and then just throw them on Pornhub and see what happens.
No. It was a full 2-hour episode.
Oh, really?
I actually watched it. I'm like, I have to see. Because I couldn't find anything about, what they were talking about anywhere. I'm like, Pornhub has a little bit of a looser
It's not
barrel sort
it's
of
like,
thing.
It's not even YouTube or Pornhub anymore. It's just HornTube.
No, that's a wholly different website. But anyway, I'm fucking with you. You'd have to look it up on your phone. I have not a clue.
HornTube.
That would be anime with no. See. That's where when Sesame Street's cameras turn off. That's where those people go to get their porn.
See, you were getting like all heated over the politics stuff, and I'm just all like, HornTube.
I wasn't getting riled up. I'm just saying. I mean, some of the stuff that I see, and just some of the stupidity of people, I'm like, wow, y'all clearly have not a clue. But also, the weird part about it, one of my other crazy thoughts.
Trying to show one of my buddies
we
the
live
freaking YouTube
in
link.
Utah, so we don't have as heavy. Pick a position, white boy.
I'm trying to find the one that I like the best.
No. That's later with your goober. But anywho, but
HornTube.
Shut up. But the thing is, we don't have to worry about some of the sexual stuff and whatnot books like in our schools because we live in Utah, which they're weird here, but they also protect their children. Because everybody can complain and bitch about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or the idiot Mormons or the idiot LDS, which are different sects in the church.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is the actual church itself. The biggest thing is a traditional family. Man does the work, wife stays at home, teaches the kids, and if you have public schools, we protect it so that way your kids don't get taught really weird shit that's gonna fuck them up. We just teach them actual, knowledge.
Yeah.
But I also heard something weird today that, oh yeah, no, school used to be taught at church for 1 to 2 hours a day. And then the government got involved, and oh no, we're going to throw them in school to 5 to 8 hours. And teach them a whole bunch of useless facts that will help them do nothing when they're adults. And their grades, A means you would be a good employee, F means you'd be a shitty employee because you think for yourself. So, me failing through 90% of school because I got bored halfway through the year because they were being idiots and just reteaching the same shit.
Yeah.
Or it was irrelevant crap that I had learned years before with history or social studies, that whole dynamic.
Yeah.
And some of the sciences, too, that was being repeated growing up.
Wow.
It got to the point, and then I heard this little soundbite today about how, once the government got involved, they basically were just training you to be a workhorse in the machine. That's what school is. Work by yourself, but every once in a while we'll throw you in groups to work as groups. But the funny part about work by yourself, but you have to socialize, is when you become part of the working machine, which is my biggest bitch on schooling is work by yourself, don't get help, don't cheat, don't look off anybody else's paper. You're an individual, stop that.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get to the workforce, alright, now you gotta work with everybody, even though you've been told for 12 years to shut the fuck up and be by yourself.
Yeah.
That's my biggest bitch with school.
Yeah, that's the insane part, is that you wake up at like 6
around the same time a parent goes to school.
Yeah.
I mean work.
Yeah, but you wake up around the fucking morning, you go to school, the bell rings, you sit in the classroom, and you're either working by yourself or you're working in little groups and you break up little social
and
groups.
90% of it's by yourself though. So
Yeah.
that way you don't cheat off somebody else.
Yeah. But they don't want you to use your brain though to figure out things, depending on the teacher. 'Cause some teachers encourage independent thought and stuff like that and craftiness.
Those aren't teachers. Those are humans who have snuck their way into becoming a fake teacher because they don't teach what the
and then you got the
propaganda is.
Follow the curriculum and follow the voted upon structure of information being given. And
well, that's like, I noticed that when Connor was in elementary school.
Yeah.
It went from, here's how you add, here's how you multiply, to, ooh, we're going to show you this new way that'll make it a lot easier. Even though it added like 15 steps. I'm like, Connor, this, and this, answer. Or this, answer. It's like, that's how I see it. But the teacher said, I don't care what the teacher says. Do you know how to draw it up so that way it looks like how your teacher wants to see it? Yeah. Can you do it my way? Yeah. Do the equation my way, draw it up how she wants to see it, and turn in the stupid assignment. But if you need help, come to me, and I'll tell you how to do it the fast way, not the ass backwards idiotic way that they're trying to teach you.
Oh, you mean Common Core?
Like I said, the stupid new way they're doing math.
Yeah, because
I'm sorry, it's stupid, and it's not 100% new, because my mom was getting into that, because the guy who came up with a similar thing was selling it as a way for people who had problem with doing math.
Yeah.
Me and Russell, math is math. Just give me the stupid equation, shut up, I'll give you an answer. It's either right or wrong. There is no in between.
Yeah.
And for me, it's right 99.9% of the time. Because even if it's not fully
Right.
No. It's right. It's just not. You got to go down a couple more steps to condense it.
Yeah.
Make it smaller. Reduce. Brain. No, to reduce it to the smallest variable.
Yeah.
That's where I always forgot to do stuff in school. But the teacher knew my brain. This is the answer. You forgot a step. The fuck did I forget? I couldn't figure it out while I was up in front of everybody. I went, sit down, give me 2 minutes. Give me, hell, not even 2 minutes, 30 seconds to a minute. I figured it out, went back up and wrote down the right thing. Or I'd write the right answer on my page.
Yeah.
The teacher's like, you got the right answer, but not the final answer. And I'm like, fuck.
Son of a bitch.
No, but what my brain always did was, why do I need to make it smaller? This is the answer to the equation. But we can make it smaller. But making it smaller doesn't make the answer any better. It's the same fucking answer.
Yeah.
It's just different numbers. But the answer is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we just divided everything by 2. Fuck off. It's the same goddamn answer.
Yeah.
Either way, the answer is 20. No, it's 10.
Over 9,000.
No, it's 10. Okay, no. If we're gonna reduce it down to the minimum, it's 5 or 2, motherfucker. Suck my dick. Can we move on? If we're going by 2s, it's 5. Fucking, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'll go to the lowest common denominator. Fuck, kiss my ass.
Yeah.
And I did that on a lot of things. It's like, oh, I gotta reduce it. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even pass where I know what to do with the math.
Yeah.
Oh, I did that a couple times. It's like, okay, answer. It's right. How the fuck you? I always love that part. How the hell is? Okay.
Yeah.
I had more fun doing that than anything else. But anywho, what do you want to talk about? Since I went on a rant for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's all good. Actually, before we get too derailed and stuff, and I talk about Mandalorian or anything else, I actually recently finished the draft for Stake of the Dame.
The
book I've been working
8th
on.
book? Nah.
Whatever book it is. It's the second edition.
I lose track because you renumbered them and changed them slightly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to keep track
it's
until it's done.
It's a lot of backdoor stuff.
Okay, so it takes place here,
Yes.
you end here, and you're fucking a bitch from there, right?
Not quite, but close. Basically, it's the second edition of the book that I released back in July last year. I invested in a software called Pro Writing Aid for like a year. It was on a discount, and so I'm going to use that as like the initial editor, and then if like I can find a human editor, cool. If not, then
there's I can't even remember the name of the editing program to help you write something.
Pro Writing Aid was pretty good from what I understand.
I don't know. It's one of those little ads with the podcasts I listen to.
Yeah, probably Pro Writing Aid. They've
I
been
don't
ramping
know.
up their marketing.
You made a comment when it did something on YouTube, and you're like, God damn it, that thing's kicking in, trying to correct my language.
Yeah, it was that was Grammarly.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
He was talking about that. It's like you give it the proper prompt, like I want this to be this type of language, or this is the scene,
Yeah,
and then you write it out, and it's like, well, if you want it to be more angry or more intense emotion, change this word, and this word, sort of thing. And I'm like, that changes how I write it. Okay, I'm gonna save the first one, and then you do whatever you want, Grammarly, and then it's like, let's see which one I like more. Read them both 3 times, and then if I'd probably end up mixing it between them. But
But I figured I would throw it in Pro Writing Aid and then see how well it turns out, like as far as like cleaning it up and everything. But
I got a 50-50 on that, but alright.
But yeah, I pretty much have finished off the last of this particular edition of Snake of the Dame, and so I'm going to be working on. I'm going to actually be working on writing a mod with a buddy. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to
A mod for what?
Doki Doki Literature Club. It's a game that we're writing a mod for. We've actually been technically writing the mod for almost a year now. It's just taken a while because life, but we're not those.
Okay, say the game again.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Not a clue, but okay.
It's basically a story. It's like a visual novel.
It's book shit.
Well, it's a
and it's
game.
English.
It's a game.
I don't do English. Fuck off.
It's technically
Literature.
a dating game module thing.
You want me to write an essay?
We're basically writing fan fiction. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to be
No. That I do that with this. Not with I no typing. Bad. I either forget about the story or just lose it completely. Yeah. That's why you're a better writer than me. Because I'm like, no, I went 3 years into that thing, didn't get more than 20 chapters in, but I couldn't turn it into a book.
So, gonna be working on that while I'm working on editing Storms of Blood, because Storms of Blood is technically due in May, and I already have the book pretty much written. I just have to do all the keying.
Do the bullshit editing.
Yeah, all the stuff. And so, once I get done with that, though, then I'll be on part 3, which is essentially the 3rd book. And
there you go.
Snake of the Dame, guess how many words I ended up getting?
I don't know. 20,000?
20,000 is short. It was actually closer to 60K.
I was going to say 100. I was
just over 60. No, if it was 100K, I'd be like, that is a long-ass first act.
Depends on who I'm fucking in the first act.
It's like tons and tons of freaking,
orgies and magic and god food. It's like, where the fuck am I? This is a different dimension. Duh. Yeah. I thought that's why you came along. No.
Yeah, so guys, if I seem tired or if I seem, little lack of wordiness, it's probably because of the fact that I've been bouncing between job, gym, and kids and other stuff, and then sliding writing in the middle of it all and editing. So,
I told you, you need to change that to the mornings and go to bed early.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
Yeah, huh? But I mean, look how much I've improved by going to bed earlier and waking up later.
Yeah, it's not for everybody though.
No, you just don't want to do it because you were programmed as a child to do it, and you want to fight the machine.
Yes,
but the funny part is,
cog.
You're not really fighting the machine now. You're the goober in the machine doing exactly what they planned for you to do. Oh, he's a lazy giffer that doesn't get up till 10 o'clock. Yeah, no, you work. That's fine. I'm sorry, that's what they expect out of your generation. Because your generation's 10 years after mine. Mm-hmm. Approximately. 9 to 10. Because you're 1 year before Amber.
Right.
So, I mean, that's... Ooh, I was 9.
Yeah.
Same shit, though. But, I mean, by the time I was 9, I knew who I was.
Yeah, it's just I don't care if the next generation doesn't copy and paste what our generation does, the millennials.
Yeah, but see, I kind of do. Because... Well, no, of course you don't. You're a millennial. Yeah. I'm a zennial. Mm-hmm. I have more Gen X stuff in me than you do. Where it's the get up early, be a badass, and keep moving. You're like, but I want to sleep. Fuck off.
Yeah.
That's the millennial mentality.
Well, it's either sleep
and
or
Nephi
burn myself up at work.
is a zennial. Mm-hmm. But he also has some of the Gen X, like I do, because of the way he handles stuff, his mentalities.
Let me give you a viewpoint, guys. You know how your brain thinks writer means that we goof around for hours on end and then we finally write like a paragraph or two? Or we fart and then a bestseller comes out and his name is Stephen King? No,
that cocksucker sucked too many dicks.
We will, if we're staying up late to write something, we're probably doing that for 5 or 6 hours. So essentially a work shift, or just shy of a work shift. And then going to bed, and then getting up shortly to either go to the gym or get up to go to work to our day job after we've helped out with the kids, after we've helped out with everything else. And that's if you're a dad. If you're just a regular millennial that isn't even a parent yet or anything, then your chances are you're looking at your existential calendar.
Fucking parent at the age of fucking 30 plus.
Not everybody is. Not everybody is. But if you're either facing existential crisis or you're working or both.
If you're an adult of 18, or I should say of 21 and younger, 21 and younger is no longer millennial. That's Zen. That's Gen Z.
I'm just saying that not everybody has the same life.
I'm saying it doesn't matter what your life is. It's if you can do it in the middle of the night, you can do it at the ass crack of dawn when you wake up.
I can't. I've tried. Unless I've been staying up all night until 5, and then at 5 I'm still doing it, that's when I can do it. But if it's my brain, the creativity juices, the brain, mine in particular, operates differently than
your
everybody
brain.
else.
Mine works best at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, because my brain goes, ooh, and then I write something down, or I get an idea and I do it that day, or I run off and go do some random shit that probably shouldn't be doing. I'm gonna do it anyways, and I jump into the wind.
Yeah, but either way, I did get the book done.
Good.
And either way, throughout December, January, and February is usually when I can't write or shit, and you've been there for those months. I did it. I got stuff
What the
written.
hell is that extra noise?
It's probably a tablet.
Something's making noise.
I'm gonna go check
hearing
it out.
it in the background.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, because it was like random as hell, just a noise started coming through, and I'm like,
I'll be right back. Or, no, I said it wrong. I'll be back.
I'll be wait. I have to talk by myself. Usually isn't an issue, but I don't know. I think it's because I finally hit 40 this year. It kind of happened last year. At 39, because, excuse me, the way my brain works, I usually do stuff a year before I'm supposed to, so when everything happens in my life, everybody thinks I'm behind when I'm actually ahead of the curve. It's kind of bad. I guess that would explain why this first few months of this year has kind of been crap to my bank account. Because I'm actually behind where my scheduling is. Well, I'm actually so far ahead of my scheduling, I should have done better last year. But a hiccup happened, and that fucked up my whole organization.
Yeah. As you said before, it is what it is and life happens.
Well, no, I admit that. It's just, like I was saying, and I was thinking, some of the stuff that, most 40-year-olds do or think about, I was thinking about doing in, like, the year of me being 39 or the year of me being 38. Some of it at the end of 38 this year. But most of it was the 39 year last year. So, I'm like, and this happened to me in high school and, like, elementary and middle school. It was I'm actually a year ahead of myself with the way I process and do things.
Yeah.
So, I think I hit maturity a year before everybody else. So I was already looking at all the girls' butts and noticing they're starting to develop before anybody else did.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's I don't know. I'm always a year ahead of myself. I act like I'm 41 even though I just hit 40. On some stuff. It's the, shut up, you youngster. I finally gotten to that age. And I started that crap when I was 39 instead of when I hit 40.
Yeah, I remember that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'm always a year or two ahead.
We'd all be talking shit, and then you in the corner would sound like you're 60 years old and talking shit.
40 to 50.
But then, like in the same vein, same breath, then you go around relating to everybody who's like 10, 15 years younger than you and being like, oh, I know that, or I know that. It's like you're a hybrid.
I am. I'm awkward.
I'm
like,
hybrid.
you lazy, worthless piece of shit. But at the same time, I understand the want to sit on my fat ass, eat junk food, and do nothing. But I'm too motivated to do that. So
yeah.
Quit being lazy. Move with me forward, or you're gonna get left behind.
I'm pretty sure that you have caused quite a few people that I know in real life to gain thicker skins, unless you're Jonah and he just simply laughs at you.
But see, the weird part with me is everybody gets me after you've been around me long enough. Because Andrew used to be all sorts of uptight around me.
He would become the biggest drama bitch.
And it's like, dude, I understand where you're coming from. I was there 20 years ago. Remember, I'm older than you.
Yeah.
I'm older than him by 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But my brain's like 10 years older than that, at least with the way I think. Because I always got along with people older than me and younger than me.
Yeah.
I never get along with anybody my age.
See, that's the thing. That's why I've always found it interesting and weird when fellow 90s kids who are my age or my age group get offended at, like, colored commentary that you either offer or that other people that are older offer. Because, like, the 90s kids, we've heard a lot of it. Like, we either heard it from the people from the 60s or the 50s.
50s and 60s, yeah.
Or people that are
and
older.
The 70s.
And if your grandparents are around, then, you know, from even older. And so,
oh, yeah.
90s kids have practically heard it all. And so when we hear the newer generation whining and bitching about whatever an older generation said, we're just like,
God, you're a bunch of pussies.
yeah, we just got bitch please. The 90s happened. What now? And
well, no, what was it? I remember the first time I heard, yeah, an adult, because we're past, we're in 2023 now, but it happened a couple years ago. A kid told me, I grew up in the 1900s. I wanted to punch him in the mouth. You make me sound old, you young piece of shit.
I mean, is he wrong?
No. But I mean, that's not my viewpoint. That was like the soundbite.
Yeah.
God, I'm old. I'm from the 1900s and we're in the 2000s.
I mean, technically, in that respect, so am I.
Well, no. I get that. I understand that. But my brain went, you little fuck. That's hilarious. One, they're a little fuck for telling you you grew up in the 1900s and telling you you're ancient.
Yeah.
It's a little shit. For saying that, one. Two, that's funny. You think I'm old and stupid.
Well, it's also funny is they don't even know what dial-up is. The grand majority of them. Grand majority of them don't know what dial-up is. I'll stare and I'll make references to older technology and they'll just be like, what's that? You're so old. And then they'll just be like, your point? And they'll be like, well, you're not going to deny you're old. I'm like, no.
Why would
See,
I deny
I am
I'm
in
old?
my 30s. I am older. You are not in your 30s and super young, so you're barely above cum.
You're a young, dumb piece of shit, so shut up and move along.
Dumb, full of cum.
Yep.
So it's just like, it's whatever, like, and half the time my generation will just simply look at the younger generation when we hear the older generation, or you, or anybody else.
I am older generation than you, but I'm only half a generation older than you, so that makes it even funnier.
But I'll sit there and I'll look at the younger generation and I go, first time? Like the GIF?
Yes! I know which commercial you're talking about. I remember that. I remember that commercial.
Yeah, because sensitivity.
That was, that one came out when I was like, 10, 12.
Yeah.
You were a tiny shit.
Yeah, because socially, it's favorable to be sensitive to other people and be sensitive of things.
No.
And sensitive, and eventually loses
The new favorability is women are men are women, and fuck off all the rest of you who think men should be men and women should be women. It's like, so you're the generation that's going to ruin the human race by not breeding and then wondering why there's not enough people to work when you're 80 and still having to work a job to keep the system running. Have fun with that dumbass.
Eventually, gender will just become an irrelevant concept.
It already is trying to become. But I like the people like, y'all need to shut up and quit trying to make everything like irrelevant. Because by making everything irrelevant, you yourself just made the argument that you tried to argue irrelevant, which makes you a dumbass. Shut up, be gone.
Well, you know, your sister.
I've heard this sort of shit.
Your sister, my wife. I've become numb to her saying it because I just don't pay attention half the time anymore. Because a lot of times she'll say stuff that, like, the newer generation is saying, and she'll, like, bounce back and forth between sounding her age and then sounding younger. And
she's stuck.
We were in the van, and she was saying, oh, well, I'm also trans because I am non-binary. I guess is her, she called her gender. And I just kind of looked at her and I was like,
that
I
was
looked at her for a
raised
second,
up.
and I was just like my raised eyebrow. She's like, what? And I'm like, nothing. And she's just like, no, you think it's something. I'm like, I find it weird and interesting that you're saying non-binary. Like, it's like it's my brain's never registered it before. She's like, what? You've never registered it anyway. And I'm like, it's because it's still strange to me.
Well, I don't need to register.
It is what it is.
But see, the thing is, okay, what is your gender? Now what is your pronoun or whatever fucking bullshit?
Guess, yeah. Trying to be formal about it.
Well, let's see. I've heard a couple things. One, there's no such thing as pronoun. You have your own pronoun, your own adjective. You have all this your own shit. Shut the fuck up. You're human. You're male or female. End of discussion. Now, do you feel uncomfortable in your body? Yes. Welcome to being a human. Move on. Next subject. Well, I like fucking boys and girls. Okay, you're bisexual. Next. What if I like fucking dogs? You're a weirdo. That's fine. An animalist. Next. You're a fucking freak. Go put on your costume, bitch.
Do you remember the Blink-182 song, I fucked the dog in the ass?
Don't.
No, the right wording is, I want to fucking a dog in the ass. And then there was a verse in it that said, I want to fuck a pirate in the ass, but then I fucked the dog.
I don't even. That does not click a bell. Do you know the tune, maybe?
It was like almost 2 minutes, and it was funny as hell. I was like 16, 17 when I found the song on Frostwire back in the major part of the pirating days.
I mean, I listened to Blink back in the day when they first became famous, like the first 2 or 3 albums, and then it was okay. I've moved on.
Yeah.
I'm no longer a teenager. I'm an adult. But
I swore as a teenager and a young 20s that if I ended up swearing off anything I cared about back then
well, no, it's not even swear it off. It's like, okay, I like this music.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop trying to keep up with your bullshit and your music. If I hear it, I'll listen to it. If I like it, if I know it's your music, I just okay, that's another one of their songs I like. Just add it to the $1,000,001 I've listened to and I like.
Yeah. Fair.
These are the
headphones
for me,
saying that were like when I
glitching out like a fat bitch.
Yeah, when I said that they were having issues, I need to probably warranty them or something.
Yeah, like I said,
barely a day old. I used them for 2 hours, and then they're like, fucking. Yeah, it was weird.
So either your laptop said, "Haha, I'll kill it," or they just went, "Haha, fuck you, no." Or they both said together, "We'll know how we'll fuck him. I'll go, and you go, ah." Shit.
So I'm still using these, the ones that I got before.
Hey, you like them? And I like these because of the way they fit on my head.
Yeah.
They don't irritate the shit out of my ears. They don't bug me. I can wear these things all fucking day.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a couple times. Just plugged them into my computer and just, I'm gone, motherfucker. Leave me alone.
Yes.
I'm enjoying my music, or I'm enjoying my videos, or I'm just enjoying life. Kiss my ass, fuck off. And I've done it a couple times. Oh, it's been so fun. But anywho, Mandalorian. What did you like about episode, I think 3? Because I think this week's was 4.
Yeah, this one was 4. This was the long promised through fan art and through.
Now, no, we're not going to talk about 4 first. We got to talk about 3 because you didn't talk about it last week because you said you didn't watch it.
3 was an interesting one because they're trying to logistically give a reason for everyone to care about the sequel trilogy. With, like, the cloning and Palpatine and the scientist who's using the data to try and learn how to clone and
I
things
think
like that.
that's more of the, ooh, we want to know, so, hey, tell us, poke, poke.
Yeah, that's... You know, like, when you say, okay, let's make a... that's a side thing, so let's go ahead and make a book about it and become a millionaire. That's literally what they're doing with the third episode.
Well, isn't that like everything they're doing with the Marvel series? Any series from the Marvel
where they
or
basically
anything?
are retreading and
okay,
then re-explaining. So
we don't want to print comic books, so here's 10 episodes. Shut the fuck up for a year.
Yes.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, and in this episode, the fourth one was, let's go ahead and bring back Jar Jar, but as a different character. Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar in the movies, is playing that Jedi with the two lightsabers.
Oh, is that what you were meaning? Okay.
Yes.
Well, no, you said his name, and I'm like, I recognize the name. I wasn't even paying attention to that's who it was.
Oh, I watched that scene like crazy. I rewound it like twice.
Of course you did.
Oh my
you
god, it
fucking
was amazing.
lunatic.
Oh shit.
But I mean, when it was the black freaking Jedi, and then he picked up the other Jedi's lightsaber, I'm like, okay, this will get interesting. This is gonna be cool.
People were trying to say that was Mace Windu, and I'm like, how? This is Order 66, you fucks.
No. When it was black, I'm like, are they gonna bring in Mace? For like 2 seconds, and then I saw the fist. I'm like, oh no, it's just another black guy.
Plus, he also has two hands. Mace had gotten his hand cut off by then.
Oh yeah, he just got his hand cut off like 2 hours beforehand.
Yeah, he got thrown out a window.
Yep.
Being shocked to death and shit. Which I don't believe he's dead. I don't believe he's dead at all. But it was nice seeing Ahmed Best come back as a Jedi.
If he's gonna come back, he's gonna come back in the Bad Batch series. Because the
That would be
Bad
cool.
Batch series right now is at the point where there's a certain guy talking to somebody in the Empire higher-ups. One of the main guys that's the main character. I can't remember his name.
Admiral Thrawn?
No, not Thrawn.
Not Thrawn?
Not the blue guy.
So it's
It's one of the regular humans.
okay.
But it's one human talking to another human about, yeah, well, look at all these clones who won't stay stormtroopers. We need to breed. We need to get them gone. So any clones, he said this like 2 episodes back. I think it was 2, maybe 3. About no. Give me all the clones. They're all gonna go defective. They did what they were supposed to. Order 66. They killed all the Jedi. No fucking use for them anymore. Since we're getting all these kids and raising them and pre-programming them like we were doing when we first got the clones to be our new stormtroopers. We no longer need the old clones. We have our new warriors. We're breeding them and making them ourselves. So we need to kill them, weed them out, and kill them or let them go. And I say we should kill them all because they're worthless piece of shit. And you don't let a soldier stay around with a gun.
I mean, they can be treated
and this last episode, some of the clones who, let's see, what's the main one? Cody or Rex?
There's Rex and there's Cody. Commander Cody and Commander Rex.
I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Rex. It might have been Cody. One of the 2 main clones was helping Tech, the one at the first season who was a clone that the Empire, before it became the Empire, was basically turning into a Borg.
Yeah.
But he's helping
Cyborg.
them with the senator in Coruscant capture or rescue these clones that are being shipped off to this guy to be reprogrammed or tortured to find out all the information they have on any other clones that are out there that aren't part of the Empire that have decided to go rogue Empire.
Yeah.
Because they did their goal, now we no longer need them, let's kill them off. It's this guy's whole thing. And at the end of the episode, he's basically prompting the guy into it. He's like, fine. Since we're finding more clones, ex-clone troopers, that basically are turning tail, I'll send you all of them who have, that I found, already flipped ship and don't want to be part of the Empire's army anymore. and I'll send you all the ones who are still part of the Empire's army. It's
Yeah.
basically what the guy sold him into. And he's got that smirky little bad guy smirk at the end of the episode. So,
Interesting.
I think Mace, if he's found, will come in somewhere there because they're hiding the clones that they're saving from being tortured and killed down to the under levels of Coruscant, which they showed in Clone Wars.
Okay.
And one of the other... wait, what was the other one? With Ezra Preacher or whatever? Preacher? But from...
Ezra Bridger.
Yeah, Bridger.
Mm-hmm.
From that series, where
Yeah.
they showed the under of Coruscant.
Yeah. The underworld of Coruscant.
Well, the under levels. The lower levels. So, yeah, that sort of stuff. So I think that's cool. And what was it? It was 3 or 4 episodes back. Somebody who used to be part of the Republic, who was reprogrammed to be a part of the Empire, and he was trying to use the cloning technology from the people who made the clones to try to do stuff to grow body parts to make it easier for people who have injuries to replace their limbs and or organs. Kind of like what they're trying to do here anyways. And what was it? One of the Ninjas Are Butterflies.
Yeah.
That podcast, one of the little shorts was, oh yeah, no, they've put human sperm in monkey embryos, or it was monkey sperm in human embryos, but because they were afraid that they might have human brains with monkey bodies, Planet of the Apes, at 20 weeks, they killed all the embryos.
Oh, damn.
So they were trying to do it to grow extra limbs for the humans, but what if it's more human than ape? Fuck, then we have Planet of the Apes. Okay, yeah, no, cut it, kill it! We're gonna close down our own operation. No! Hit the fucking shit! Control alt delete, delete!
It'd be cool, though, is if they ended up actually doing it to where, like, you end up...
But hang on a sec.
Caesar.
In that episode of Bad Batch Season 2, the guy, one of the girls who's trying to be his friend, pretending to, I think, or she just was attempting to be nice or finding a way to be nice with actually behind his back make herself look like a better person.
Yeah.
Because it looked like she was a complete backstabber from jump.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec. But they show a rock and she says something about it's part of the underneath of Coruscant that nobody's seen in millions of years.
Yeah.
From where they started building all of the stuff on top. Touch it, I dare you. Or poked him to go touch it and he almost touching some security guard or somebody came out, don't touch that, that's against the rules, blah, 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 and like made a big bitch fit at him.
Yeah.
I think it was a clone trooper. But it was the hilarity of it that she's egging you to do it because you're new to Coruscant. You go to do it, and then you get told no, and then she laughs, and the 2 guys that are part of the group, of your group, of when you got reprogrammed from the Republic to the Empire, basically are laughing at him. Her and 2 other guys. But there was like 7 people in the group. And then something else in the episode happens and everybody but him and her basically get taken down.
Yeah.
Because you're all traitors, you're all turncoats, sort of shit.
Yeah.
So, and they're also trying to find the girl clone, the only female clone that was ever made. And that's been the last 3 episodes, essentially. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because the one, I can't remember the name of the tall people that made the clones, Minoans or something.
Kaminoans?
Yeah. The tall one who made her, because she's an abnormality just like Group 99.
Yeah.
That's the Bad Batch group, where they were all slightly altered with their genetics.
Yeah.
Because you have the one who's the Marine, the one who's just a big buff guy, the sniper, and there's one other one I can't remember. And then you have Tech, the one they found. Actually, I think Tech was the fourth one. Yeah, Tech was the fourth one. Because they found him, and he became part of the group. I think.
And they're all just different versions of Jango Fett.
Well, they were the altered versions, where they weren't just like the rest of the clones. It was the one clone who also, they found the Order 66 chip in his head in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That's one of those clones. It's those clones. Group 99 or whatever.
Yeah.
Their thing is. They're 99.
Yes. Yeah, it's the one with the malfunction chips.
Yeah.
They're able to operate outside of Order 66.
Yeah, that's why they're called Group 99 or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was a play on the numbers, and I thought it was interesting and cool. So I was
no,
I like that.
It was pretty funny.
But I mean, I don't know. I was going somewhere with that. Now my brain just had a fart. I have no clue. Anyway, the best part I liked about the episode this week, though, with Mandalorian, was her telling him about the metal and forging it, and him having the flashback. That was the most fun for me. So I'm like, ooh, alright, we're getting a flashback. This will be fun. Maybe he'll start talking soon because he has a flashback and then he remembers how to talk.
Yeah.
Because I think part of it is personal self amnesia hypnosis sort of thing.
Yeah.
He made himself forget how to talk and that he knew all this stuff so that way he could go back to basically child mode and be because I mean, what was it? Yoda lived to 1,000 years and then he looked old?
Yeah, he lived to about 950, I think.
Yeah, like I said, almost 1,000.
Yeah.
But I mean, and he says he's like 900 at the very 900 something at the very first movie, or 800 something I thought. But either way.
Well, when you got Episode 1, Phantom Menace, which is approximately 35 years before Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Because you've got the first 10-year gap between Phantom Menace and
But I'm
Attack.
saying, if he's at 900 years old, around 900, at the beginning of the beginning of the prequels.
Yeah.
Because I'll just say that because it's a whole different set, because
Yeah,
I remember when the original
Phantom
3
and
came out.
Attack is about 10 years apart, and then Revenge of the Sith is another 5 years, and then Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope is 20 years. And then between,
I thought it was 19, but
A New Hope and Empire is like 2 to 3 years, and then Empire to Return of the Jedi is another like 5 years.
But I mean, to be the...
So it's 10, 5...
You don't get
20,
old till you're 900, and he's only
35,
50.
40. It's about 40.
He hasn't
years
even
from
hit 100. He's not even like a tenth. Well, he's almost a tenth of his age because he hasn't hit 90 yet. 90 to 100 years old.
Yeah.
So he's literally a tenth of becoming an adult, or an old man.
Yeah.
An old man for human is anywhere between me, 40, and older than my mom and dad, which would be 70.
Yeah.
Between 40 and 70, you're the old person in the group.
I want them to define exactly how their species ages. Because if you
Well, I
are
think
50 years
that's
old
part of the series.
and you can't talk at all.
Oh, I mean, and he's like a little itty bitty fucking thing.
Yeah, but if you're like 50, does that mean that Yoda himself, when you're 50 years old, if you're still a baby, and Yoda's like 850 or 900, does that
900
mean
at the beginning
it's
of
like
episode
every
1.
50 years of a human life is 1 year of their life, and so Yoda
Well,
was
no, I
technically,
was
like,
thinking
5
it was
years
like
old or
for
6
every-
years old?
Well, because Yoda was tiny anyways, right?
Right.
He's like smaller than Anakin at the beginning of episode 1.
Yeah. And he carries around a
So
lightsaber.
they're tiny to begin with. 1.
Mhm.
2, Grogu, at being 50, is like 5 years old.
Yeah.
He's anywhere between 3 to 5 years old, in my opinion. So, if he's 5 years old, I'll just say 5 for clarification, because I know some people who didn't start talking until they were 5.
Did you know there are people actually saying that when Grogu went to go hang out with Luke, he was there for 2 or 3 years? So Jon Favreau was saying.
I thought it was 6 months to a year.
Jon Favreau in an interview was asked about it, and he said that the time gap between when Grogu is hanging out with Luke and learning the Force, and when he
relearning the Force,
when he goes back to Mandalorian, he goes back to Din, it's been like 2 to 3 years. That's what Jon Favreau was trying to say. Even though that time gap makes no sense to me, it's still he's
well, it's
saying
like
that.
the TV time gap. You were gone for 2 months, TV show, because we all went on summer break and we came back, but you say you've been apart for 1.5 years. What the fuck happened with that year we missed?
Right. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I'm just like, wait a minute. I know we took a 2 months detour.
I'll give you 6 months max. Well, 6 months shortest, 1 year max because of TV time crunch. How they do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because Ahsoka swings by.
Yes.
So clearly she's fucking Luke. Or at least that's the little hee-hees I heard.
You think Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker got it on?
No, the channel we were talking about where they do the deep fake of Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Anakin.
Yeah.
He's, the Obi-Wan guy, oh yeah, your student's now fucking your son. Wait, my son? Oh wait, you don't know, that's right, we cloned you from the good version. Ah, just shut up, stupid. Sort of thing. We'll talk about it later, just shut up, watch.
Right.
When they're reviewing shit.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, no, just watching it, just some of the way they, oh yeah, he doesn't know about that, we cloned him from an earlier memory. Shut up, stupid, watch.
Yeah,
we'll explain it to you later.
I was watching that channel a little bit.
I like watching it for the hilarity, because you know me. It's all about the humor. If you're not funny, or something doesn't make me laugh, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
If I don't get one laugh out of the whole thing, or with the spooky shit, if I don't get a, oh, you poor pathetic little humans.
Yep.
Because some of the stupidity that these people admit they do, I'm like, you poor pathetic, weak-spirited person.
Yep.
If I don't get that inkling, done.
Yeah.
I've literally just skipped an episode because, oh, you poor pathetic. Oh no, you're not a poor pathetic. Okay, this is boring. 'Cause that's exactly what I would do. You're not giving me anything new to think about or new to go, hee hee, and here's why, you idiot. Is it bitching it's slow?
No, it's just, I'm just trying to make sure it's charging while we're doing a podcast.
You don't need to, as long as it's connected with the
But after you
aux
leave,
cord.
I'm turning the wireless back on.
Well, then you plug it in there, jackass. I never charge mine. Because as long as I use an aux cord, I'm good to go.
Yeah, well, this thing has 50-hour battery life. Wireless.
I don't know how good the battery is on this thing. I haven't checked or paid attention to it in forever.
These are outstanding. Like, oh my god.
I don't doubt it. Nobody can see you, by the way, dipshit. You ran away.
And
This is why your chair is supposed to be this way, another 2 inches, and you're supposed to be all the way back there so they can see you. Right there. Your drink's where your ass is supposed to be. Of course, that's also possibly because that's closer this way. Last week it was further back.
Oh.
No, other direction. Back towards the... Yeah. You'd have to move some stuff, but... Now. You gotta sit up, not me. I'm already in the shot. You gotta adjust.
Remember how we were up in the loft years ago? And we were all cramped in together?
I like the little bit of room.
Yeah, I know. That's why I got the 6-foot cables too, because just in case.
No, I'm good with that. But I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah,
But I always have fun coming over us doing this.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Yeah, that's why I figured I would invest in decent equipment, because I was just sick and tired of playing around with equipment that would either,
half-ass.
Yeah, it would just sound like shit. Like it'd sound okay, but then it wouldn't sound so great, and I'd be like, fuck, I need to get something better. So here I am.
Because you also didn't want to spend 3 hours editing a video
and having to fix audio levels.
Oh yeah, I know. Because the first episode was, it was everywhere.
Yeah, it was crazily messy. Oh my god! But hey, you have to.
I laughed at it and just threw it out there on a couple of the sites, and I'm just like, that's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but it's you have to be able to be okay with recording your first episode, 2 episodes, 5 episodes. Even if you have to record 80 episodes till you really get the swing of things, you have to go.
Or be able to figure out where to put the mic sort of thing.
Yes, and you have to do that so you can break into it.
Oh yeah.
If I was only doing the Crazy Piece podcast, the only thing that would move is your laptop. Everything else would just stay in the same places because of the fact that why move it? But, unless of course the wife or somebody else had to come in here and do stuff. But yeah, that's part of why.
But I mean, I use it,
work so hard.
And the kids use it every once in a while, so that's when
to invest
take
in
home and whatnot.
Technology that can really adapt and can really help with quality. So that way, when you're uploading it to different sites and shit, people will listen to it and be like, "Holy shit, this sounds great."
Oh yeah, no. I understand that from your point of view because you've explained it to me on the podcast, even. So
yeah. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to come up with actual theme music for the podcast, because so far it just simply starts.
Well, you usually do your hey yeah or whatever.
Yeah. What I was thinking about is Jonah actually sent me a couple short tunes, like a minute long, and I asked him if I could use a couple of them or use them, and he was like, as long as you credit us, I don't care.
Yeah.
And he made, it was an original tune that he recorded. It was like a minute long. It was like for one of their demo songs.
Background music by.
I think it would either be Jonah Thibodeau or it would be Ekamuse, or Oceans Above Us, whichever one.
There you go. You got all 3 out. No, you got all 3 out. So that way, if it's my or your goofy ass voice saying something in the background for background sound, their music is background noise, but our voices are singing or saying something weird in the front ground.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. It's an intro and outro song. And then you send them the snippet after we add our bits in or the music, whatever we decide to add to it. Because I'll come by next Thursday and let me listen to the beats or whatever, and we'll go from there. But, I mean, we could do that, and I bet you I could figure out some goofy shit to say because we're the Crazy Peas, so have fun with that.
Yep. And I also have Adobe Audition, which would allow me to splice it all together.
Nice. Alright, hang on one sec. I also found a new podcast for this last week. Actually, a really good one. Yeah, that's what it is. But you don't have the full name there. I need the full name.
Oh, Hooverman Lab?
Yeah. He was on Rogan's last episode.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I always see his, little shorts or snippets of his podcast. I just want his podcast on Spotify because I can just hit play and drive and do whatever and listen to it.
Yeah.
Like I do with Disturbed and Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I don't watch it 90% of the time unless they're like, ooh, this thing. Oh yeah, you found a picture, Jamie. I'm like, son of a bitch. Pause. Go back 15 seconds. Get to where I'm going. Deliver the food or do whatever I'm doing or take 2 seconds to go. Alright, what are they showing? Oh yeah, I've already seen that. Keep going.
Yep.
I mean, because if they're talking about something I know about, and it's a new, it's a new, picture or something I've never heard of about the subject that they're talking about, but I know about the subject, I'm like, ooh, I have to see this.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like, okay, whatever, tell me the info. No, but with the intro, I think we could make an intro, possibly even an outro, or just do kind of like what Jordan Peterson and I think it's Maya Peterson, his daughter, or Michaela. I don't know. Too many people with M names in my head. I have a lot of Michaelas, Kaylas, and just mixtures of M names, Mike, Michael, and a whole bunch of other stuff, Michelle and whatnot, in my head. But his daughter, they kind of have just an instrumental intro and outro. It's the same song for both. And I'm like, because you said it's an instrument, right? Yeah, it's just instrumental. We just play one at the beginning and one at the end. We play the same, both sides.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is take and do something with the instrumental. That way, like, we, like, overlayer it with a voice or something. And then, like, if Jonah wants to jump in on it and wants to, like, help out with adding to that, he could. And if you're eventually listening to this, Jonah, it's right there.
Text the goober. Text TPAW.
Exactly. And, like, he could just come over here real quick, lay down a really quick, short vocal track, and then we'd be good to go.
I'd rather do the vocal track. No offense, Jonah. Just because I'm a goober. It's our podcast, so if we want some voice in it, I could throw some crazy shit in it, because I'm good with my voice.
Yeah.
And I know that because everybody either says shit behind my back, or they're like, I wish he'd shut up. God, he's loud. Yes, I'm loud. Deal with my booming voice. You know, some of you women want to come here.
Oh shit. But yeah, like we could just throw something real quick together, because I have it in my messenger. Like, I just go into my messenger, and if I can't find the audio track on my phone, and just pull it up, and I can just download it, and then move it to the laptop, and then from there just cut it into the podcast, and it'd be easy.
Well, I want to listen to the little snippet he sent you, and then it's like, I wonder if I could put it. Not right now. We're in the middle of broadcasting.
I actually went in here to check to see if the guy responded. He didn't respond. Either he's ignoring me or he's sleeping like he should be.
Good, then pull up the music. Piss him off. No, I'm kidding.
Well, no, it was my Sweden friend who, it was like 5 in the morning where he's at.
Sweden, that's
8 hours ahead.
Always count. Damn it. Well, if it's 8 hours ahead, he should be almost awake by now.
Well, it was like 5 a.m. a little bit ago, like an hour or two ago.
Maybe he just hasn't checked his phone yet.
Because like 20 minutes later it'll be 12, which means that for him it'd be 8 a.m. So
that's what I'm saying. He should be getting up about now.
Yeah, it's like 7:40 for him right now.
Just jumps in the podcast, listens for a minute. I'm here. I can't talk. I'm getting ready for work.
Yeah.
Just listens to our goofy asses. Maybe that's one of the, you were saying 16 extra views more than usual that we got last week.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I did drop the episode in quite a few different places.
Well, I've also dropped a few. I gotta drop these last week's and this one's in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I dropped all the rest in there since we started doing it on my laptop here recently. That's why I told you to keep them on there. I'm like, yeah, I got a terabyte. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It gets too full. I'll just delete or eventually just buy a flash drive, put it in, and move it off.
Or you get it on Amazon and order the same terabytes that I got for my external. Because the extra, I can show you the link to it, and you can get a 6 terabyte.
I don't think I want an external.
No?
Mm-mm.
But it's really handy.
I mean, because I already have a, if I need an extra one, I just take the one I got in my computer, take it out, because I have an adapter in the bag, and I just hook it up, plug it into there, because that's where I got my laptop. I literally just copied from my computer after Dad, Joe, helped put in the right type of Windows for this computer.
Yeah.
Well, we tried to, but we couldn't because it's a desktop Windows. Because the laptop, the way this one's set up, you can't use the same as that. It's a different format because of the motherboard on my laptop.
Yeah.
But it only came with, I think, what was it? Like 250, 500 gigs? but I bought me and him the terabyte.
Yeah.
So him with his laptop figured it all out. So that way when I came over, he's like, all right, well, you wanted to see what we're gonna do, so we're gonna do it together. We took apart the bottom. He showed me there's an extra spot for an extra M.2. So actually, I just go get another. I'd have to look up which type of M.2 I bought for this.
Yeah.
Just go get a 2-3 terabyte M.2, same make and model, and just da da da. No, you don't read it. Okay, go through here, go through file, da da da. Hey, look, it's there. Activate. You read. Bing, bing. It's showing up. You have 2 more terabytes. Yeah, thanks, bitch. That's where all the episodes go.
Yeah.
It done. I know how to do it. If I have to, it's a go get the piece, put it in, go into the computer, make sure it shows. If it doesn't show, go into programming or, well, it's not programming. It's part of the programs, like showing you your mouse or your Wi-Fi, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's going into that and telling it, hey, I have a new one.
Yeah.
Because it'll show it as put in, but it won't have it registered to the system until you register it to the system.
Yeah.
I've had to do it with a couple computers where I had to change my motherboard. And because I had to change my motherboard, it's like, there's nothing here. But we show Windows, so clearly Windows was installed. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Click. Click. Boo! We work! It's alive! I can fuck a fat bitch now! Could have done that 20 minutes ago if you'd pull your head out of your ass, motherfucker.
You know, that's how, like, every
But
time
computers
he talks
do
about
that.
Fucking any women, he's always talking about fat bitches as opposed to skinny.
I like a woman with big tatas. So I just cover my ass and just get a big bitch. That's like Connor my son picked up my wife this morning, and she made a comment that she's 160 to him. And I laughed. I'm like, yeah, well, she used to call herself a, oh my god, holy shit, fat, horrible, obese bitch. She should be 135, 140. Bitch still looks skinny as fuck. It's like, shut up, bitch, you got big tits, a big ass, and you skinny. Come here and fuck me or just shut the hell up, you fucking angry bitch.
Yeah, 165 is like...
She's 160 flat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not fat. But
That's
if you listen to your mom, she calls herself fat all the time. It's really horrible.
Yeah.
And Connor just laughed and like, oh no, I know she does. I've heard her say it before, and you tell her, shut up, you're not fat, you're so skinny as hell.
Yes.
But
That's
yeah,
high school weight.
I always, that was me high school weight, 160, 170. Before I actually put on some bulk.
When I was 15,
Please.
16, I wanted to be 160, but I was 120. Wet.
No, that just means you needed to lift more weights, white boy.
Yeah, well, on top of
You've
that,
kind of proven that because you're at like, what, 170 something now?
Yeah.
You got like 10 pounds to lose in your perfect weight for your height. Me, I got another 30 because I'm kind of stuck right now at like 215, 217.
Yeah.
I'm currently stuck. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, I don't look fat though. I'm actually look fit because if I suck in my belly and I do the flexing in the mirror, I look fucking nice. So fuck it.
Yeah.
I can suck in my belly. Some bitch wanna fuck me. I don't need to breathe for fucking half an hour. I'm good. I like to swim. I can do this. I mean, I know I can. I am the god you have been looking for.
What's funny is every time I stretch recently and every time I did any kind of flexing, and I'm not even trying to flex. You know the shit that I was giving you shit 4 years ago?
Yeah.
A year or two ago? When you would be up in the loft and you'd just be like...
Or I'm just like, alright, how do I look on camera?
Yeah. And you'd just be like...
I mean, you can't see it because I'm wearing the black shirt today because I just blend.
Yes. But I've been doing that shit a lot. Like, just instinctually. And
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, it's the, I need a smaller belly.
yeah.
But when you do that, you also stretch out your pectorals, so it's a,
Yeah.
I'm getting to work out while I'm doing nothing.
Yep.
Oh, I did that all the time, dude. That's how I got skinny the first time, like a couple years back.
Yeah.
I don't even freaking flex or get worried about it. It's like, I remember how I did that. I was flexing my chest and my abs every day. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
All day workout. And I do it while I'm driving and listening to whatever podcast or music.
Yeah.
My brain goes, you're not doing that thing. Oh, yeah. And I just do it.
Yeah.
I always thought it was funny when you made the comment. I was watching the video back to check the audio and just to see, why were you doing that? Just to do it. And you always laughed at me, and I'm like, oh, it's just one of those habits I have taught myself.
it's like I was laughing at, and then recently I was watching a video where offhand, at different points of the video, you were doing it again, or sitting right there, and I noticed that I was doing it, sitting right here, and the camera was, because I'm like half in the shot, but the sign thing is in the way. Like,
well, I mean, you can move that.
You can see me doing it a little bit.
The funny part is, it would fit right there perfectly behind us on the wall, so we need to move that one over a little bit.
Oh, so you're saying like...
And print out the Crazy Peas logo and put it right there in the middle. Then we don't need it on screen. It's just there all the time. Because if you move that over just a hair, it would still be in frame. Because where I'm pointing, I can see myself on camera. You put the Crazy Peas right there, it would be perfect.
What would be funny is if I... should I be able to make it a poster, or should I just make it like a... Not,
Well, it would have to be
that's a 12 by 18. So if I made it
has to
slightly
be a
smaller.
square because of the way it is.
Yeah.
So maybe an 8 by 8.
Yeah.
Get an 8 by 11 frame that can go sideways.
Yeah.
And just put a different 8 by 11 like colored sheet behind it.
Put it underneath the map. Then
You could do well. No, I was saying for the podcast, it would look better at that height.
Yeah.
Because if I move around, we could probably put it over there too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for the podcast, because that's like right between us on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the perfect place. Because you could just put that up, and on podcast night, just rotate them.
Yeah. I mean, I could also take and try to put in like a green screen effect and have the logo just be behind us. That way it's covering all the background.
Wouldn't bother me. I'm just saying, because I saw that, I mean, if we could just like get a blue piece of paper or cloth, just like lay it over it, or green, and then you could just take the logo and just green screen it right there.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Yeah, Paul's been trying to get me to get a green screen for a while, like a regular green screen.
You don't need a regular green screen. You just need the same color dye.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably buy a white flat sheet and find the perfect dye color.
Yeah.
From the company I buy the clothing dye from.
Yeah.
And it take fucking one day.
Hmm.
You just need hot water. Mom and Dad used to do it in the washing machine. But actually what I found out works better is one of the regular like totes.
Yeah.
Just heat up water. Put 2 or 3 like tea kettles full, or like pasta pans, spaghetti sized pans full of hot water in it. Basically almost boiling. Put it in it, then put in the dye, toss in whatever white sheet of clothing you have in it. I used the rocks from my yard since we had so many extra. I just use a couple rocks and weigh the clothes down. After I put the clothes in and mix them around in the dye for a minute, I take rocks and hold it to the bottom so that way it gets that darker color when it's to the bottom. But I mean, even if it floats a little, because I had the pants were darker with my Goku when I dyed them than the shirt was, the gi top. So yeah, it was interesting. It was like, so they're sold by the same company, but it's slightly different with the same dye. I was like, I wonder if that's because the dye wait, no, I put them both in at the exact same time. Okay, screw it. Now Connor has it.
Yeah.
I actually got me a new gi pants before I ran out of money.
Yeah.
I just haven't dyed them yet. I mean, they're white. They're just sitting in my area.
Yeah.
I just got to dye them. I got the green dye sitting in the garage. And I got the keep, permanent color, keep color.
Yeah.
So, I'm good to go. Let's just get it done and go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to look up research as to whether or not dyeing a sheet green would actually affect green screen and be literally the exact same thing, or if it would be
I think
slightly
it would
different.
be. Or, I mean, you could find what exact color is a green screen color.
Yeah.
What's the exact color of green? Like the actual color number? And just go down to, Lowe's and buy a little thing of paint. Have them make paint. This is the color number.
Yeah.
You have them shake it up. You bring it here. You move that. Paint that whole wall just green.
Fabric? Isn't that all green screen
Yeah,
is?
it's just green fabric. That's what I'm saying. Either dye it yourself or get paint and just paint the wall. Open the window, because weather's supposed to be warming up. It's already been warming up in the afternoons anyways.
Yeah.
And you could, paint this whole wall.
Green?
Yeah. So we could put whatever the hell we want with the green screen right there. Flaming tits, dick and balls, whatever.
Just have some porn star model on the wall.
Big titty whore. And her tits and our heads on the diagram are where her tits are.
YouTube channel gets taken down. Rumble bumps up.
Rumble bumps up and hey, look, we're everybody loves us on Pornhub.
We're 10 million viewers.
I'll find a way.
YouTube is like, we're taking this shit down, and Rumble's like, I just got rich.
Yep.
And then YouTube's like, wait, what? I'm richer than you.
Oh yeah,
now.
I changed our name on Twitch.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out how to, or it's because they've changed the program.
Mm-hmm.
I can't upload our videos onto the Twitch channel. And I changed it to Crazy Peas Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then it stopped bitching about it being Crazy Peas.
Okay.
Because Crazy Peas, you could write something after the S. There's so many freaking channels with this other words after the S. Or that are part of the S. It's like,
yeah, I noticed that,
God, you're such a bitch, Twitch.
There are so many copycats of Crazy Peas now. There was no Crazy Peas at all.
Right. We're
couple
famous now. We're famous now.
Years ago, there was no Crazy Peas ever.
And you try to do Crazy Peas on most of the platforms. I was like, sorry, we already got one. Excuse me, cunt.
The same thing you talked about years ago. How you had chosen the name Karnage, and then for some reason you found 500 other Carnages out of nowhere.
Yeah, so I changed it to Karnate.
Yeah.
And then that became the most popular name. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to change it to a K. And I'm going to add my favorite number, 6778, on the end. So here's a middle finger kiss my ass, because there's not 6,778 of you motherfuckers out there. But I know there's some of you assholes who use the K.
Yeah, you guys think we're just talking big. You guys think we're just talking of our game, right?
No. This is shit that just happens to me on a regular basis. I choose to do something, I do it, and then instantly it becomes popular for everybody else to use that name or that anagram on every website. Everywhere. It sucks.
On YouTube and Google and a few other places.
Twitch.
I looked up Crazy Peas because I'm like, we should pop up, especially on Twitch, because there's no Crazy Peas but us. And I go on there, and suddenly I'm seeing all different fucking kinds of them, and I'm like,
yeah, and it's not even. Some of them aren't even P's. It's just P and then an S word.
Yeah.
It's like they decided to take what we did and slightly adjust it for my channel.
Yeah,
you fucking
they,
little bitches.
Yeah, they basically decided to try and take and monopolize on something that we created years ago.
And that's unique to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just trademark that shit.
Screw it. No. Screw it. We just sue everybody. Y'all stole our shit. We were the first one. Stamp.
Yeah.
Where's my $1 million, bitch? Just be a jackass about it. Sue everybody for everything. There's so much money dove into court cases and so much bullshit. We're just sitting back like, call us if we win. If we don't win, just tell them fuck off.
Just like send everyone a message. You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
You'll be hearing from my 50 lawyers because I had to buy 50 of them.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's 50 cases. Wait, so they're all working together? I don't know, but they are. You know that'd be me. I'd hire one lawyer from 50 different law offices because they each specialize in one specific thing. Like, okay, now you're all going to come work in this building because my company, or mine and my brother-in-law's company owned you. So this is the building. You're all going to work together. You're all now the Crazy Peas law firm.
Yep.
Who's in charge? I am. But I don't deal with the law. That guy's in charge of the law. Why? Because he's been in charge of his own law firm for 50 years, so he's going to die soon, so I'll put him in charge until he's dead. You know me, I'm such a smart ass. They'd be like, alright, we accept that bullshit. As long as the check keeps coming in, fuck it. Make our own law firm. Crazy Peas. Law office. I'll listen to that podcast. Let's see if this is any good. Could be. And then we get even richer off that. It's like, hey, look, it worked. That's what
a lot of podcasts take off these days.
Well, I mean, let's see. Joe Rogan became rich, and then he decided to do the Alpha Brain with On It.
Yeah.
And that's his brand. He made the brand. He made enough money so that way he could afford to make his own brand. So that way he could do things like try to make nootropics and stuff to help you with your brain and your physical body. So that way you're not a complete shitbag or being wrecked by life in general.
Yeah.
And that's why I like him as a model of that's what I eventually want to achieve, or I'm going to surpass him and possibly piss him off. Because I know I'm going to piss off Markiplier when I become super famous. He's like, where the hell did this jackass come from? Nowhere. And where am I going? The same place. Because this is where I stay. Fame to me would be like, oh, everybody likes me or hates me. I knew they would. Okay, moving on. I talk about it all the time.
Yep.
It's not going to change because I'm already the biggest jackass and the most honest me I can be. So, come join the fire.
And what's even funnier is people out there are going to be like, ooh, arrogant jackass. Be like, yeah.
But you watch or listen, don't you?
Yep. Like,
I'm also thinking about finding how to do, because I downloaded it. There's a Spotify podcast app.
mm-hmm.
I downloaded it onto the phone, but I need to figure out how to do it on there. So that way I can download it like Joe Rogan and Distractable does, and just put it up on Spotify too. Other than doing it through like Anchor, because they'll actually let you download it with the video. But I actually want to do it specifically for Spotify.
Yeah.
See if I gotta fork out money or just like,
I've
here's
got
our shit.
I've got RSS feed still. I
Yeah.
can just put on RSS feed.
Well, you were talking about cutting the audio.
Yeah.
Because you keep putting it on there. I don't know if you've done it or tried yet.
I haven't been doing RSS feed for a while, but I'm still paying for the sub. So I'm thinking about once we
just
get
jump
done.
back in.
Once we get done with getting the opening figured out, and then the closing.
The music.
Yeah, all that stuff. Once
We'll
we get all
work on
figured
that.
out.
Like I said, we'll work on that Thursday. I'll
Yeah.
I'll take half a day off. Come over. We'll do that until about noon,
Yeah.
and then we'll then I'll just go on with my day like I usually do. What I usually do on Thursdays, and just run off and take care of shit.
Yeah, and then what I'm thinking about doing is taking and cutting every single episode with that, opening and closing, and then just taking all the files and just putting them on RSS feed.
Go for it.
And just and probably doing it like one by one, like one every other day of the week, so that it's like.
Well, is there a way to download it to the site but tell it don't drop it except for on like Tuesday and Friday?
You can schedule it.
Yeah, I'd say schedule it on like
doing.
Tuesday and Thursday because we do them on Fridays until you catch up, and then it'll be like, okay, it's gonna be every Friday now because we're just gonna upload it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. Is I'm going to think about catching up the audience for the last forever.
Our beautiful audience and the rest of the world who loves us and hates us and listens to our stupid goofiness.
By the time we get to by the time we get to June or July, they'll be like episode 300. Just kidding.
No, let's see. What are we in March? And we're on episode 13 or 14
for this new series. Yeah.
Well, new set because we started over.
Yes.
So. Because didn't we start at 1 at the beginning of the year? Or was it right before? Do you remember?
Around 1, yeah.
Because, let's see, I don't know. Oh, let me pull it up on my phone.
I don't even remember anymore.
Well, no. Because, stop, jackass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so, like, 1 or 2 weeks into... Well, it was in December when we started the new naming.
Yeah.
Because we're only 12 weeks into the year and we've skipped 1 or 2 weeks. We've skipped like 2 weeks when we had to.
Yeah.
Because of schedule, so.
Because life. We're not famous rock stars or people that have all a bunch of time on our hands. So we're only able to do it once a week on Fridays. And sometimes on Fridays we can't do it, so we end up doing it another
We'll
week.
have 26 episodes by July 1st.
Okay.
Or on July 1st. It'll be 26 since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So, 28?
Yeah.
Since we started the new set?
Yeah, which isn't bad,
No.
honestly. Like, that means that we'll have recorded 26 episodes for this newer rendition of it. And then we had already recorded right around 30 to 40 episodes on the
Before
last
we had to
set.
take a break because life and whatnot.
Yeah, before we took like an 8 to 9 month break.
Yeah.
So really, like, we've still recorded hours upon hours of content.
Of our lunacy and randomness where my brain goes and you jump in, well, what about this fact? Ooh, yeah, we can go there too.
Yeah. See, combined, so average is about 2 hours,
2 to 3
hours per
depending on the
episode.
day.
So 2.5 hours times, let's just round up to,
Well, we have 14 of this one
45.
and about, you said 80 before?
yeah, it was about 45.
So just say 100 episodes.
Yes, 2.5 hours times 100 episodes. We've recorded over 250 hours of content.
Yeah.
Audience listening's probably be like, what the fuck?
Well, you want the numbers.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think 2.5 is right because 0.5 is in a group of 100, but minutes are groups of 60.
I was doing an average. Because there are some episodes that are like, some episodes that are 4 hours, some episodes that are 3, some of them that are 2.
An hour and
Some
a
of them
half.
have- yeah, some of them
We've done a couple
super
shorts
short.
episodes.
That is
'cause
considered short, yeah.
A kid decided to go all nuclear in y'all's old place
Mhm.
or whatever
Yeah,
the situation was.
Some shorter episodes. That's why I said the average is 2.5, so that it rounds up while still being medium. So that's why I said that. That's why I said just over 250 hours probably.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, of content.
Give or take anywhere between 20 to 50 minutes.
Yes.
Or hours, I should say.
Yep. Which is far more than anyone who's starting out or anyone with, like, you know, relatively moderate light audience.
Well,
like,
it's not even that. The funny part is
most people just quit.
we're not even really big or well known except for in our own groups.
Yes.
But the funny part about that is, I just like, yeah, okay, I do a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
When? Every Friday. It used to be Thursdays, then we changed it to Fridays. Well, it was Saturdays first.
Yeah, it was Saturday night.
It was the original.
Because I cut it Saturday evening because I had Saturdays and Sundays off. So
Yep.
what I would do is after the whole day played out, we would then record the podcast, and then after you left to go home, I would be cutting the podcast to re-upload it after it was live, and that would take forever. But I would be up all
Oh,
night
but
Saturday.
you also enjoy that shit.
Yeah,
so.
and it was up until Sunday. Yeah, no, I love the shit out of it. It's just because of life and everything, I just stopped doing that. But Saturday and Sunday, I would stay up all night, take care of everything. Sunday morning to afternoon, I'd have the podcast re-uploaded.
Yeah.
And I was.
I remember you doing that. I'd swing by Sunday night to see if you got it done, where you were.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's already been done. Or I don't know. Let me go check on the computer. Oh, it's about 50% done.
Yeah. And it was heavily awesome just being able to do that. And even though some people were like, "Are you even getting paid for that?" And I'm like, "No." And they're just like, "Well, why? That's stupid." And I'm like, "No, it's not. It's something I'm
enjoying it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm enjoying doing it, and that's the point of it. Like, that's what I told him at the very beginning, is that even if we don't ever get paid for this, like, we just
Let's just do it for the fun of it. Oh,
yeah, and then you'll have a record of, like, that many hours of content, and if you ever, like...
And
like,
your crazy ideals.
Yeah, like, what did we do a year ago? Let's go back to that episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's part of the reason I love podcasting.
Well, I remember at the beginning, we just ran. And at the beginning, you're like, you just go off in these weird kind of directions.
I was having people outside tell me that I had to
be more organized.
Yeah, they were bitching and whining about it. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll try to do that. And then, this is just how we're doing it. This is just how it's
it
going.
Works!
Yeah. This is just how it's going.
Because it's real conversation. That's why everybody likes Joe Rogan and a lot of other podcasts like Distractable and a few other ones like the one I was just saying I found. Well, yeah. I knew his name. I just didn't know what the podcast was. The Hepman or whatever it was. But the thing is, I like, and I know you like it because you decided to tell everybody, well, go fuck off. Because we're going to talk to each other like we do when we're just shooting the shit anyways, because that's the most enjoyable for us. And if we're having fun and enjoying it, everybody else will too. So, screw you. We're not getting paid for it, so we're just going to be goofballs and be ourselves.
Well, eventually I'm going to get sponsors for the podcast. I'm going to try and get sponsors.
I would love to get Alpha Greens like Joe Rogan and a lot of the other ones I listen to. Yes. But the one you need, or should I say, the one that would help your group of lunatics, better help. Because it's we'll pay you, or we'll give you free product. No, you pay us for ads, and then you can afford to get your lunatics into the therapist on better help.
That'd be fair, yeah.
Use them to make money to pay for themselves.
In my opinion, I mean, this podcast is a podcast made for podcast lovers. Because those people out there who want things to be far more structured and rigid, they don't really listen to that many podcasts then. Because all they care about is the podcasts that fit their mentality.
Well, but I mean,
and I
for
listen
everybody,
to Joe Rogan, I listen to Kevin Smith, I listen to so many other different podcasters that don't use a major format, or if they do have a format, it's limited to that one particular series. Because like Kevin has Smodcast with Scott, and they are kind of off the rails half the time. Then he's got Education with Andy, in which they actually have sort of like a format.
Structure,
Yeah, and then you got Babylon, which is kind of like radio, so because that's Ralph Garman, and so that fits him. But depending on who he's doing the podcast with as to how rigid it is. Kevin himself just will go off the rails. Like, he'll just fillet the mic. He'll fillet the mic for 3 hours if you give him a chance. And, people out there who don't like that, it's not for you. But people who love to hear it and love to just listen to,
his rambles,
and talking and stuff and theorizing, that is what this podcast is for.
Oh, yeah. Because if I'll hear some facts, and I'm like, hey, I heard this thing today, or hey, did you get that short I sent you about this? Mm-hmm. Have you even gone on your Instagram? Because I've just been sending them to your Instagram profile instead of texting them to you. Because they changed the format on how to send them to you. I still sent a few to you through.
I've seen a couple of them. But to be fair, this last week,
this has been busy as shit.
I almost didn't do the podcast with Paul today. Because, one, I had a giant migraine, and two, it was so damn busy that Paul texted me around 10:30 and was like, Amber came in and said, by the way, your appointment to get your permit renewed is in like an hour. And then Paula texted me and said, topic for podcast? So at both times I'm like, fuck, shit. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get myself mentally ready for a podcast while at the same time going to do the driver's thing. And holy shit, it's Friday. How the fuck is it Friday already?
I've been so busy. I just went and swam today. Today was literally I just did my swim day.
Yeah.
It was good. It was meditative. I left the gym. I went and made money because I had to. So my account wouldn't be in the negative, and it done.
Yeah.
Anything after that, what I have to do next week to keep my account out of the negative is what it is.
Yeah.
But next week is more just try to make $300-400, throw it into the credit card that's attached to my name, but slightly attached to the wife's, because you gotta pay that off in 2 months. Well, we'll get close.
Yeah.
I'll pay most of it off next week, and then if she makes a bitch. Actually, let me look at that. Actually, I still got 2 weeks. What? In 2 weeks, it's 8 weeks. I still got 2 weeks. And then I'll just sit back and get yelled at or get told I'm worthless, and I'll just go, okay, whatever. I mean, the funny part was the other day when she came back, well, when I thought she was going to come in, I'm like, yeah, whatever, blame me for everything. Just remember, just because you think it's my fault doesn't mean it's actually my fault.
Yeah.
And I just sat back, and okay, come at me. No, I actually want to discuss something with you. I'm like, oh, so we're actually going to talk. Oh, wait, no, you're a female. So you want to tell me your opinion on it. Okay, yeah, go ahead, talk.
Yeah, they just talk at you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll listen. If I find anything boring or non-existent, I'll ignore it. And I was paying attention to my show for 30 seconds because you were being a dumbass repeating shit that's obvious because we're parents.
Yeah.
Okay, dumb. You repeat common knowledge. It's not common knowledge. If it's not common knowledge, then you didn't grow up in a family with more than one kid, which means you, and you don't know shit, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have kids. I mean, if any of my siblings wouldn't have been born, honestly, I'd have been better off as a single person. Cause me, with the way my brain works, it's like, oh, I don't have enough training. I probably shouldn't have kids. I'm gonna fuck them up. But I can honestly say,
what Amber said.
I'm
herself.
Not the fuck up. I'm not fucking up my kids. So,
yeah.
kiss my ass.
Yeah, no, that's what Amber had said when before we even had Aryan, was that she didn't want to have kids because everyone
was afraid she'd be worthless good for nothing.
Yeah, and she was afraid that she'd fuck up all her kids. And so it is. So I think part of like why she gets them at Head Start and why she gets involved on like so many different programs and tries to learn all the shit she does is it's an overcompensation for her greatest fears.
Yeah, but well, I mean, each parent has their fear of I don't want to be my parent. I don't want to call cock my kid.
Yeah.
But there's also a line where sometimes it's not hit your kid to hit your kid. It's discipline them with a slight slap or hit across the butt where you're most cushioned.
Yeah.
Would be the best way to put it because, let's see, one of the little fun ones, I think I sent it to you, that it might have been from YouTube. No, what was it, YouTube? Where was it from? It might have been from Instagram. But it was the Do Asian Boys, right?
Yeah.
That have a podcast that I've listened to a couple times and let you listen to it because they got goofy little theories they like talking about that I think is funny.
Yeah.
Because they're stupid and dive into it too deep, and I just like listen to their, well, this overgrown theory from like 50 years ago that and Disney's evil and dark. It's like, well, they've always been evil and dark. Why are you like, ooh, spooky shit happens at Disneyland? Duh. God, young children. But I mean, they're only like 10 years younger than you, so I'm just like, God. You're like, oh my God, how have I never known this? It's like, wow, that shows what era you grew up in.
Yeah.
We all knew. Oh no, you go to Disney. No in the park after dark. You stay in your damn reservation or whatever hotel room you got that's local.
Yeah.
You don't be one of those idiots that goes, ooh, nothing's open. I'm gonna go creep around the park. Have fun being dead. Or a zombie. Bye.
Have fun storming the parking lot, I think.
Well, no, but I mean, it's the things that, like, well, this happened to Disney. Well, of course. I mean, look at the guy who freaking bought the land and runs the company. He's always higher than a fucking goddamn kite. He's basically sitting on the moon just laughing at everybody else on Earth while literally doing whatever the fuck he wants.
It's a good life.
But no. The reason for hitting him across the butt is kind of like he made a comment on the little short about the reason we grow beards is because our ancestors were fighters. Because men who grow beards, their ancestors are usually fighters because a beard slows down the hit so that way you don't get a broken jaw because it creates a slight cushion. And if you don't have, if you naturally don't grow hair, clearly your ancestors weren't fighters because they didn't need a way to protect their face because they didn't fight. They weren't the warriors in the group.
Interesting. Yeah, I've ever since I was an adult, you've always had my facial hair.
I mean, it's also and I know people hate this, the whole Aryan race thing, the whole Vikings and that sort of thing, but it's if you pay attention to your genetics, if you come from Normandy, Sweden, and Finland, all that stuff right there, that's where the freaking Vikings were from.
Yeah.
I know that's where I come from. With also, because Russell, mom and dad did the 23andMe or whatever ancestry thing.
The same thing we did, yeah.
Yeah, they bought themselves one, then they bought one for you and Amber.
Amber
and I've looked at mom and dad's.
Amber and I bought ourselves the Ancestry, but they did the 23andMe, I guess.
I don't know which one it was. I just know they did one.
Yeah.
And mom's, literally, she has the login for both, and I've seen them both.
Yeah.
So, it's like the thing about, well, we don't have Italian heritage. Dad did it to see where his heritage comes from. It literally shows Italy. So it's like, everybody thought no Italy in our background. Guess what? That's why we're such good cooks. We naturally have an inclination because we're from Italy.
Yeah. No, I already called that myself.
But no, I remember when they did that.
Facial build, nose build, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can also see the Native American. Because for me, it's in the chin. For the wife, it's in her... Well, for me, it's the cheeks. For her, it's the chin.
Right.
Or vice versa. I'd have to look at Nikki to figure it out.
I don't know the Native American in me according to Ancestry.
But how far back on the generations did they go? And do you have any genetic background from the Middle East? Basically, like Israel, Jerusalem, all that stuff. The 12 tribes area.
I believe they did go that far back.
If you have that, then you have Native American blood. Because that fits into, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints stuff. Where that's where they came from. And came to America. That's why the Cherokees, the closest thing you can get to the people who are supposed to be the good guys in the book, the most righteous.
Even though it's interesting because I've interacted with quite a few people that are from indigenous tribes, and a lot of indigenous tribes are very
the thing
oral
is,
rather than written down.
The thing is, the stuff that's in the Book of Mormon, that's part of the history.
Yeah.
What it says is, the ones who were the wicked ones who didn't follow the rules, didn't follow the scriptures, like with the 12 tribes of Israel, the ones who didn't follow the rules, which was the Israelites and a lot of the other tribes that died off and got killed because they were the bad guys. It also says that the lighter-skinned tribes were the ones who followed the rules, basically kept to the gospel the most. On even the Israelites, the 12 tribes. which Judah is part of the 12 tribes. They're the lightest skin from that area.
Yeah.
So, since they're the lightest skin, and the lightest skin Native Americans are Choctaws and Cherokees, that's the closest you can get back to that. Plus, if you have darker skin because you're not at church praying once a week or twice a week or whatever the tradition was back in the day, you're outside more. You're fighting. You're a warrior race. You fight and kill for everything you have.
Yeah.
So you're always outside. So you're darker. You're tanner. Enough generations go past. You're the darker breed, and the ones who weren't outside all the time because they didn't have to fight and try to kill each other for everything they had, because they worked together as a cohesive government group, but it was more of a religious government because of their beliefs. That's why they're lighter skinned. That's where the lighter skinned tribes of the Native Americans are. The darker skinned tribes are the ones who were truly 100% went savage.
Yeah.
Went full savage, went full freaking native, essentially. Turned
Okay.
full local.
Yeah.
We're always outside. We always have to fight for everything. We don't really plant food, but we go around and kill stuff. We're warriors.
Yeah.
It's not the hunter-gatherer. It's just we're the hunters. We don't gather, we hunt.
Yeah.
If there happens to be something to gather while we're in that area, then we'll grab it because we know it tastes good and it won't kill us.
Yeah.
Which, that's a little bit of the gathering, but I mean, that's not the biggest part of the Native American stuff. Because I've looked at Native American, because on Mom's genealogy, it says some of her background comes from the Middle East.
Yeah.
But we know, I think it's 5 grandmas back from me or Mom. I think it's 6 for me, 5 for Mom, was a Native American. So I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
Because I also know the facial structures of the Cherokee Choctaw, because they got put in the same spot in Oklahoma, and they were said, no, stamp, you're all Cherokee, shut the fuck up. By the United States of America assholes who were in charge at the time.
As Amber tends to call them colonizers.
Hey, they jacked my land, but at the same time, if you want to go with that whole freaking background, I got white privilege because my fucking Native American decided to go fuck a white dick. Kiss my ass! I cheated the system. Bitch. I mean, if you think about it that way, I won because I cheat the system.
I mean, technically, think about it, since everyone is in a way mixed race, then I guess everyone did that.
Right? From a technological point, or from a genealogical point of view, yes.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. The one funny part about my 6th great grandma's back, that the joke was, is because her husband was a farm man, a farm owner, he looked more native than she did. She had the lighter skin.
Yeah.
So that shows that she was Cherokee or Choctaw because they were the lighter skinned tribes. They looked more white than most white people who owned a farm with as tan as you get. So if that doesn't prove it, nothing does. Plus, I haven't lost my tan since last summer. I mean, if that doesn't prove I'm fucking native, nothing does. Plus, that's also partially the Italian. And now that I got confirmation on the Italian, it's like, oh, no wonder I keep like 50% of my tan all year long.
My Irish and Scottish in me probably is more prevalent because I burn like crazy. I burn like a damn vampire.
Okay, here's the funny part. I used to burn when I was younger.
Yeah.
Ever since I hit, like... Well, no, I can still burn. I just have to be out in the sun all day. I burn. If I'm not out in the sun all day, I'm just tan like a motherfucker. I almost look 100% native with as tan as I get.
I know that.
And when my hair was blonde when I was a kid, everybody was like, what the hell? But you see my hair at its longest?
Yeah.
That's the Cherokee.
And then when I was working at Walmart and I was a car pusher outside constantly, and I was putting on that spray.
No,
sun
screw the
lotion.
spray stuff. It doesn't work as well as the rub-on. But
Well, when
okay.
I was using it and stuff, it was working pretty well. It kept me from being absolutely burned or whatever. But I was putting it on my arms,
But it's
my
also
legs, and my neck
you have
and
to
shit.
train your body. I mean,
And-
once you do that for a couple of years, your body gets used to just being tan, and you only have to worry about being outside for more than 8 hours.
Yeah, no, it was crazy because like I'm sitting here doing that, and like a month or two later, I come out of the bathroom and apparently Amber just hadn't been paying attention, but I come out of the bathroom and Amber looks at me and goes, "Holy shit, baby, you look Mexican on your arms."
Yes.
And I'm just like, wait, what? I'm white as hell.
No. Because that's like Mom always talked about Dad. Because he was a roofer.
Yeah.
Until he fell and busted his head because somebody covered up the hole. Or covered up where you should be able to see the ladder.
Yeah.
We've told that story a couple times on here. But the thing is, when he was at the height of basically doing that, because he was outside so much,
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't see him at night. Motherfucker was tan. That son bitch looked native. And he ain't got no native in him. But come find out, his Italian background with the 23andMe or Ancestry, I don't remember which one they did, but either way, the one they did, proving he's Italian, that's like, no wonder, because once you get so dark with the Italian blood in you, I disappear in the darkness. Because you get so tan, it's just like, bitch, please. I mean, I've gotten that tan a few times in my life where it's just like, shit, I'm almost black. Light, well, but you know what I mean, that light, but dark.
Yeah.
You're white, but you're still, you're at the edge of, they're not going to call you the white guy at work no more. You are now a native, a Mexican, or you're a light-skinned black guy. Because that's what Russell was. Mom's like, he was a light-skinned black guy or Native American sort of tan. I'm like, oh. So he was an Italian who works outside. Okay.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, that's the first thought that pops into my head, finding out that, yes, we do have Italian blood. It's like, no wonder after I always, first burn of the year, usually, 99% of the time, or I'll say 95%. Give myself a little bit of wiggle room for failure.
Yeah.
But after that first burn, if I get a first burn, dude, I just get gold. I love it.
Yeah, what's funny is Italians are actually extremely
Golden skinned.
emotional, angsty, but also they're supposed to be artistic.
We're passionate.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen the passion. Russell's passionate. But don't try to, he gets overly passionate.
He's also really passionate about the kids wearing pants.
Well, he's more passionate with the
Get your pants on.
wear clothes, quit being a nudist. This isn't a nudist colony. You're at my house. 1, 2. You're gonna send me to hell. That's always the background voice. We've talked about that a couple times.
Yeah.
That's always the background voice that nobody ever remembers. Bitch, complain. Bitch, complain. Nobody's sending you to hell but yourself, jackass. Remember that.
Yeah.
Because I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because 90% of his spaz outs are on Sunday.
Yep.
The day of God, as far as he's concerned.
That is
So,
fair.
so you're all gonna send me to hell because he expects Jesus to come back on a Sunday. I'm gonna laugh because motherfuckers are gonna come back on a Friday and piss off the Jews and the Christians just to be a jackass. Friday was supposed to be the holiday, motherfuckers. We worked through Sunday and Saturday, you dumbasses. Friday was actually the day they took off. We just wrote the calendar wrong because we were off on the days and everybody kept changing the calendar.
What would be funny is if he did show up on a Friday and then like everything stopped, like everything in the world stopped, and everyone thought it was COVID. Nope, just Jesus.
No, just wait. We got another 12 years.
Yeah. Because that's what you said, right? Like, you said 2 years ago that it was 15, so...
15 to 20, and now it's like
about-
12 to 17.
And how do you figure that?
Certain things I've seen happen, and certain things when I go looking for certain stuff about
would make
how the
me-
world's... No, about stuff that's
23?
happening internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, what lake is it? There's a lake that's dried up, and they're finding bones and bodies and tombs in this big waterway. And one of the things in Revelations that I thought was funny because it got brought up in one of the little shorts I watched, and then I went looking for, the full information on it. And it's the thing of when this body of water starts to dry up, it's basically the end, dude. Shit's about to hit the fan, because when this happens, this is step like 1 or 2 of Armageddon. And I mean, think about it this way. COVID happened. Oh my God, all these people were dying. And a lot of famous people died. What if that's, death, or because COVID was a thing, it's plague. Of the
This is actually
the
something
4
ran through my head.
horsemen.
Yeah, this is something that's ran through my head. Is my dad told me, remember when that earthquake happened?
Uh-huh.
And, like, it shook up over half of Utah? My dad had said that he heard
But that
a
was like a
cracking sound.
lightweight freaking...
Yeah, he heard a cracking sound. We grew up in California.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
of
yeah.
used to way bigger.
You've talked about it.
But, like, he said that he heard a cracking sound when the earthquake happened. And
I checked my basement, homie.
Yeah, I heard a well, he was at work. I heard because it was.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was
it was-
before his injury.
Yeah, it was like 7 in the morning, and so he was already gone because he had to. That month was crazy as far as work orders go. Like
Okay.
he was stuck for 12, 15 hours a day doing the same work orders and covering someone else. But like he said, at like 7 in the morning, he was down south already in Cache Valley. No, the north then Cache Valley. But either way, he was in Cache Valley, and yeah, he was,
that way.
he was elsewhere in Cache Valley, and he was working on a hospital, and he came outside and was getting his tools, and then all of a sudden the earthquake happened, and he was standing like this with his arms out, and while he was doing that, he heard like a faint sound, like a cracking sound, and I was sitting in my living room, sitting there in the chair, and like I was sitting there, and I'm like, riding off a buzz, and I'm just like going, why are the walls moving? Wow, I must really be there. And then all of a sudden, all I hear is like when the earthquake movies, or like in California when I'm just walking down the street and I hear, and it feels like the street farted. But like I was sitting in a chair and the walls are vibrating, steps on the walls vibrating, and the whole time I'm just like going,
Okay.
well, this is an interesting butt massage. I must really be there then, because the walls are literally moving. Wait, what was that cracking sound? Is that the wall? And then my dad called me like later on in the day. He was just like, "So, how are you guys doing with the earthquake?" And I'm like, "I mean, it was fine, but like, I think the wall snapped or something." He's like, "Oh, so you heard it too?" And I'm like, "Wait, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was outside getting my tools and stuff for work and whatever, and put my arms out because earthquake, and I wasn't near a building, or I was technically outside the hospital, but I got to a place where it would be safe for earthquake." And he's like, because you know how it is, we were in California for so long, and he's like, when I was
1 week.
when the whole like street was vibrating and everything and shaking, he's like, I heard like a popping sound, like a crack, and I looked down and the ground didn't crack or split.
Gate 1.
And so he was talking about how one of the seals had broken.
Uh-huh.
And I was like going, well, I heard a snapping sound and I thought it was the wall. And he's like, nope, it wasn't the wall. He's like, it was one of the seals.
Yeah, see, the thing is, it woke me up.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was laying in bed stretching. It was not a day I had to go do anything. I was just there. Teresa went to go help Dumbass with her idiot mom. tried to pack up her shit to run back to frickin' Washington to get with her man who's getting kicked out of jail or some bullshit issue that was going on with that stupidity. So I'm like, because they had gone the night before to go help her mom with something stupid.
Yeah.
Dum Dum's mom. And so I'm just like, just take a nap. Fuck it. Fuck the world. I don't care. Tomorrow's Saturday. I think it was Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday.
It was a Saturday.
Yeah. Because I didn't have anything planned. So I just woke up and went, huh. Jumped on Facebook. Earthquake! Was that an earthquake? Google. Earthquake. Utah. Oh, 3.5. Oh,
5.7.
half an hour ago.
It was 5.7.
The news said something about 3.5 was the second one.
It was aftershocks.
Yeah.
So.
That's what they said, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I only felt one. When did the first one go on? It was
5.7 earthquake Utah in 2020.
Yeah.
March 18th, 2020, a 5.7 magnitude earthquake hit Salt Lake City, Utah, with an epicenter 6 kilometers northeast of Magna, Utah, beneath the site of the planned Utah inland port.
Yeah, I remember them talking about that because I went to the 2 News channel to see what the actual story was, because their Facebook will throw out the actual video they did for the story talking about it. So I didn't go there, but I went to the sign.
So
to the website.
March 18th was actually a Wednesday.
I remember it was a day. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a Wednesday, and it was before March 20th, which is about when everything hit the fan with COVID.
Yeah.
Because, that's right, I was going to have
but,
to work
I mean,
that day.
I don't know if you could look it up. I don't know if you have it on your phone. I have it on mine, but...
That's right, I was going to have to work that day.
I'd have to look back through,
That was a crazy week.
Yeah, that week was nuts. But I'd have to look back through the, Revelation and a few of the other, prophecies.
Yeah.
About the 4 horsemen and when each one's supposed to hit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this basically looks like plague.
Yeah, because, March 18th would have been the week that we would have been... Because, the earthquake really fucked up the call center, that Verizon call center.
It fucked up everybody that week.
They had already called us out of work for that week, and then right out of that nowhere, fucking earthquake happens, and then the entire year is just COVID, and then the next year is COVID, and then the following year is COVID, and I'm just like, what? Everything I've seen when it comes to news media. When it comes to anything. Up
until the end of last year, around October.
Yeah. It has felt like the end times.
But see, here's the funny part. Look up after you get your drink. Who are the 4 horsemen and what order are they supposed to come in? Because I know it's plague, then it's famine, which we're in a famine right now because there's a famine of money and everything, because everything's getting skyrocketed to extremely, outrageous prices and whatnot, and I even know that because I was making money in 2020, 2021, 2022. Guess what's happened this year?
Huh.
I've already been thrown in the negative 3 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
So the first seal, Rider on White Horse, and then the second seal...
Wait. First seal is what? White Horse?
Rider on White Horse.
Does it tell you which...
No.
It should tell you which 4 horsemen.
Let's see here. White for conquest, red for war, black for pestilence or famine, and pale for death. First seal, Rider on White Horse. Second seal, war.
Wait. What's the first one?
First seal, Rider on White Horse. That's all it says.
There's gotta be more information. God, fuck you, Google.
And then the second seal, war. third seal famine, fourth seal death.
Well, no, I know death. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Right from left to right, death, famine, war, and conquest. The lamb is at the top.
Yeah, but what does it say under white horse? Ah! Don't.
Conquest, war, famine, and death are the different facets of the apocalypse.
Okay, so you just went to the same thing it pulled up for me. So, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want
But
the
we've been
Wikipedia
dealing-
page. Fuck you.
We've been dealing with famine, and we've also been dealing with illness for like a while.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what was the one before COVID? Wasn't it like swine or some asshole flu?
Yeah, it was.
It was swine, and before that it was chicken, and before that it was some other cocksucker.
Yes.
But I mean, those are the repetitive. COVID is the one that supposedly, because it was the most horrible thing ever, scared everybody. But
Yes,
yet more
wrecked
people are
everything.
dying from the vaccination, even though technically it's not a vaccination.
Well, we've been dealing with plague, and we've been dealing with famine for a while.
7
budding.
cells.
War is budding in the ranks.
Yeah, I know. Bow and crown on the white horse. That. Sure, we'll go to 7 seals. Let's do that one.
What's even more
I'll
ironic
look
to
it
me-
up later.
What's even more ironic to me is the fact that, politically speaking, both sides of the political aisle are responding terribly to this. Like if they-
To the situation.
Yeah, if this
Well-
is literally the apocalypse, it's budding in the ranks, and literally that's what's
Okay,
happening.
But here's
they
the
are
funny
both
part.
responding terribly to it.
Think about it this way. If it's the end times, it's the apocalypse, the Christian apocalypse.
Yeah, whatever they want to call it.
No, we'll just go with Christian, because the Christian apocalypse is also the Judaic apocalypse, but they don't see it until Jesus comes back,
Right.
and then they realize he's the Messiah.
Yeah.
But that also has to do with the
And then they nail him to a cross.
what's the other main religion?
You've got the Christian religion. You've got
Judaic, Christian, and Muslim.
yeah.
Theirs also says some of this. Theirs goes over what's said in the Bible with Revelations, and that will be the end time. But their thing is, it's not Jesus, it's Allah
Hmm.
or Mohammed or whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah.
Because I think Allah is supposed to be God. But I mean, that's like me talking to you about how what a lot of people don't realize is the top jackass, the original God is God. The big bad or great grandpa God before the Titans or whichever the first gods that the gods that become the pantheons that pagans, Wiccans, and other religious blah blahs worship. It's all the same assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've discussed it.
Yes.
So I always think it's funny that the end of the world, and this was done this way, and this hey, woohoo, you know you're all describing the same story, and the end of the world is all the same fucking shit, right? Right? Are we all on the same page here? So why are we fighting? And no offense to your dad, and no offense to you, that wasn't the first seal. It's actually the third seal.
Oh, you believe that was the third seal?
Oh, I know it was.
I don't think he said it was the first seal. He just said it was a seal.
A seal. Well, I'm telling you it's not the first one because with the white horse, that's not the famine. I mean, not famine.
Conquest.
No. Conquest is the first one. The second one is
I believe it's a famine.
Was the second one famine?
Yeah, I was reading it off.
Yeah. Then the third one was the one I was talking
second
about.
seal's war. Third seal's famine. Fourth seal is death.
Yeah, but isn't there supposed to be... See, I don't like that, though. Because it says...
Following KhanaAcademy.org?
No, you're good on that. But, I mean, I thought it was famine and... Brain, what's the word? No, but conquest is right, because, I mean, think about it. I mean, wait, what was the orders? Yeah, because we're in famine, and the world's not dead yet, but, I mean, look at how everything's fighting. I get to be a man if I want to be a man. I get to be a woman because I want to be a woman and take my dick into girls' locker rooms because I'm a perv. Well, I mean, if you look at the people who not actually believe they should have been a different sex because when they were born they had both parts, male and female. Hermaphrodite.
My brain is saying this is ridiculous, but then at the same time it seems...
It makes perfect sense.
It's beginning to tie into, like, it's starting to make sense to me on this pretense that everywhere I turn on media, when I'm on my phone and I'm looking stuff up, whether it's Twitter...
When you're on your
YouTube,
demon device, yes.
Anywhere I look, like, it just seems like everything's going batshit crazy.
But see,
And
it
I'm just
always
like
seems like it's going batshit crazy. But the thing is...
I go, what the fuck? Over half the time.
The thing is, the calendar's wrong. How far... Actually, look this up. How far back does BC history begin?
How far back does BC history begin?
Yeah, BC something or other.
BC starts the year before 180 and moves in reverse.
Yes, so what is the furthest date? It says right there. 2680.
2680 BC.
It is how far back they think it is. So 2680 plus 2023 is what?
A lot of years.
Well, I mean, that's 5,000 years, supposedly.
So
Approximately.
Okay, so 2680 plus 2023. 4,703 years.
Yeah. Supposedly that we've been keeping track.
Yeah.
But if you go from the biblical and other, like old school, like way back when stories that finally gotten written down somewhere between 100 and 200, between 200 and 100 BC, doesn't that basically mean that the stories were always there, just paper wasn't being produced at a high rate, so nobody wrote it down, and the only people who wrote it down who had the possibility to get paper and whatnot, which are literally the top end people who are in charge of most religions. Yeah. Or they wrote it on walls or put it in metal because they didn't have paper, which goes into the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff like that.
Didn't the Egyptians write on walls and in their...
They write their shit on walls.
And papyrus?
No, not in the pyramids. The only thing that was ever written on the pyramids was the guy's name, and that's the guy who actually... He was the pharaoh who dug into the pyramid to figure out what the hell it was for. Because what it was made for and what it was for was lost between him trying to figure out what it was and putting his name stamp on it 4,500 years ago.
So if we go by this, 4,700 and what was the number?
I don't know. You said 47 something?
If you go by this, 4,703 years. And
that's the beginning of written history.
And we combine the two sets of years together between 2023 and before Christ. Only 33 years of that time frame was Jesus being alive before he got killed.
35. But yes. He died at 35.
Mid-30s. In 3 years.
Between your age and my age, yes.
In 3 years, I would be Jesus' age. That is crazy. How
I know
did we kill him that,
But see, here's the thing, and here's the biggest thing. Everybody's, especially the Judaic religion, he's not the Messiah. Because he didn't take away the bad guys. He didn't do all this stuff. We weren't saved. But a lot of the prophecies given from what we consider the Old Testament for people who read the Bible, and the Muslims, because they also read the Old Testament and the New Testament. They read our scriptures as well as their own.
Right.
But the thing is, it said that there would be somebody who would come who is the Savior, and this is what he's going to do. This is what he's going to do. This is what he's going to say. Pay attention. He's doing this stuff when he gets here. What happens when Jesus gets here and gets old enough to be able to... gets past the point of learning as a child and becomes an adult between the ages of 25 and 30 approximately.
Right.
Because that's when your brain's done developing and you're no longer a child. Technically.
Yeah.
So technically, you've only been an adult for 5 fucking years, asshole. How do you feel about that? First,
Weird.
before I keep going.
Weird.
So by that note, because I think Jesus is the whole thing. The scriptures that they tell about him, it's a 10-year span, from like 25 to 35, I think, or it was from 30 to 35 approximately. Because I don't remember the exact numbers. I'd have to look it up. But, I mean, that's what I remember from an approximate.
Yeah.
Because, I'm never good with 100% down on most numbers. At least when it has to do with people's ages and certain things.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if there's 4,700 years of keeping record, and 4,500 years ago some guy put his name on the pyramid...
Yeah.
Does that really mean that was... This is going to the Graham Hancock or something? The guy I talk about that I like. Because it's... We don't know what the temple was used for. There's nothing in it. There's a box that looks like a coffin.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that was a coffin. And plus... looking up some stuff, well, not even looking up, just stuff that pops up on my stuff because I like the Graham Hancock and learning about what they found in the temple, in the pyramids and whatnot. Actually, when they went on the way to the, or in the Queen's chamber, after they got into it, it was covered with growing crystals. They scraped it all out. They basically ripped that place apart. Anything that was growing or naturally happening in the temple was removed from it, and now it is a tourist attraction, or was. Because one of the other guys I listened to, I think it's, what's the name of the channel? Bright Insider or something?
Okay.
One of the guys that talks about how Atlantis is the Eye of the Sahara.
Yeah.
I've talked about him a couple times, showed you a couple of his videos and whatnot. I think. If not, I can find it and probably show it to you anyways. But he talks about how the stuff, Pluto? Not Pluto, no. Begins with a P.
Plato.
Thank you. I had it right.
Philosopher.
Yep. His uncle told him about the tale that he was told by the Egyptians about how Atlantis was this, and this, and this, and this, and this. But the funny part is, some of the stuff that gets brought up, especially with the Graham Hancock, with his Ancient Apocalypse. Look it up on Netflix. It's a really good watch. Actually, I think I did actually watch it already, but I don't remember if you remember
Agents of the Apocalypse?
Ancient Apocalypse.
Oh, Ancient Apocalypse? I think I've seen it before.
Yeah, I made a comment about it once. You looked at it,
I think Andrew and I actually watched it quite a few times when we were high years ago.
No. This is a new one he just dropped here within the last 4 or 5 months.
Oh, okay.
It's a recent one. But him and another guy dropped it because they were talking about it on Gordon Ramsay. So you can look and see how far back that was because that's around the time it came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
But it's a really good. I watched it when he mentioned it on Joe Rogan. I literally took like 1 to 2 days to watch the whole damn thing. I spanned that some bitch quick as fuck. But I mean, it talks about how like 90% of the rainforest in Mexico and lower, when they do the LiDAR scans, they see all of these villages, all of these temples, and if they look at the temples and do scans on the temples, it's temples that, temples, pyramids, that were built small, and then the next group built bigger on top of it, and then on top of it, and then on top of it. That's why the one that everybody knows in the village of the sun,
Yeah.
the really big pyramid in Mexico, is actually like 2 or 3 built on top of each other. It just kept building up.
Yeah.
And that just tells me, so nobody knows who the original race was. What if it was the race that lived on the planet before, like we were talking a couple weeks ago about, before it got reset?
Yeah.
Because Antarctica looks like a rainforest. They've done drilling there. They've done LiDAR there, and it looks like it was a rainforest at one time. What if that's, like I've said, the Garden of Eden?
Yeah.
And it was just the shift of the planet. So, before it got shifted, and everything everywhere else became frozen or dead, and that became paradise because that was at the equator when the whole crustal shift moved, and the North and South Pole that we think are like this, but when the whole thing shifted, it just went back to straight up and down.
Yeah.
So now over here is perfect and nice and warm all year round. So that's Garden of Eden. But before that shift happened and made that perfect to make Garden of Eden, what about the groups of millions, possibly quadrillions of humans or entities that lived here before us? 1,000+ generations back.
Yeah.
Because a generation is every 25 to 30 years.
Yeah.
So we got 4,700 of keeping records. So that's, I don't know, the 4,000, hit the equals button and then divide by 30.
156, well, rounding up 157.
Okay, 157 generations.
Yes.
And I'll just add, because that's from keeping track of supposedly writing stuff down. So before that, before we have books and actually think we've been keeping track of everything, where we remember stories and have it all written down, what about we add and just say 200 generations before that? Because, no, I'm just, if you want to calculate it out, see how many years that is, that's on you. Because 200 times 30 years, or 25 years. I'd say 30. Cover our ass.
Times 30.
Yeah.
6,000.
Yeah, 6,000 years. And the Mayan character, every 2,500 years, something happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if that was the case, we'd already be on the reset. We're behind by their calendar for the reset to move on to the next stage.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's their calendar. And if they're going by what they learned by people who actually worship the proper God, and they were the people who didn't worship like you were supposed to,
Yeah.
then that basically means they're getting secondhand and fed other information. Because it says in the Book of Mormon that the Lamanites, basically the non-believers, are the ones who said, fuck you because you're privileged because you believe and do whatever God tells you, people. Because there's always a group. Because it was Cain versus Abel originally.
Yeah.
And in the Book of Mormon, it's Nephi and Sam versus Laman and Lemuel. But they're called the Lamanites because the older brother. He's the oldest.
Yeah.
And Nephi was the prophet after the father was dead, but he was given the role that you're going to be the next prophet, so I'm going to tell you some of this stuff before your dad dies.
Yep.
And then he died like 50 to 100 years later. But I mean, it's kind of that thing of like Adam and Eve, all the way up to like Noah, or no, Abraham, because I think that's when they started lowering the age, because before that, 900 something years, 900 something years. But the man and wife, but it usually talks about the man in the Bible. When he got to the age of 200, he started having kids. So think about it this way. If he's 200 years old and he's having kids, but yet we're able to have kids, or choosing to have kids, anywhere from the age of 20
to 30 to 40.
To 40. We'll just say 40 covered our ass. So our 20 years used to be 100 years. I mean, it used to be 200 years. Think about it like that. Think about how fast the world had to spin and go around the sun, and how short a year was. If their equivalent of 200 years would be our equivalent now of 20 years. I'm just throwing it as a just thought piece out there.
I wonder if they even measured time the same way back then.
They measured time, but one day is light to light. Night is night, is light ending to light beginning.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
there.
thinking about it like that, and this is, just me scientifically, because when everything starts, if you hit the reset button, like I'm saying, what they moved and everything was here, and then because Adam fucked up because he loved Eve and didn't want her to leave the garden, he ate the fruit. No, because by the way the Jewish...
It's purely a joke.
Now, I understand it, but the Jewish thing says he went through like 5 to 7 wives. Or was it 7 to 9? Whatever. He went through a few wives before he fell in love with Eve. Because they were all their own independent bitches. But the one that's the biggest one who's known is Lilith.
So wait a minute.
She gets kicked out of... No, just pause. She gets kicked out of the Garden of Eden. And if he has other wives before that, they get kicked out of the Garden of Eden. What if Adam and Eve are Homo sapiens living in paradise in Antarctica when it was a rainforest in paradise? And in the other parts of the world, that's where you get the big eyebrows, no hair.
Neanderthal.
Yes, Neanderthals. And when the women were kicked out of the garden by Adam or God, because he couldn't fall in love with them because they were too independent or whatever the thing was that made them against each other, what if that's the one thing where all the Neanderthals and everything comes from? Because there were people who lived there, but because the world had an apocalypse, because it whole twisted, all the smart people who remember everything died. And they're smart like us with computers and stuff. But because it's all reset, they're fucked.
Which is, the whole Atlantis and
a whole bunch of stuff.
Previous society.
Yeah, more than one in my opinion. But what if the previous society was the Neanderthals mating with the first other humans that were given to Adam, other females, and they just mixed in with the Neanderthals and became their gods because they were the closest thing to gods, because they were sent to them by the god of this world. So they thought they were goddesses themselves because they were females. Because they were chosen spirits.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the Lilith god, who's the goddess of babies, basically fertility, and I think it's judgment, some sort of judgment, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Lilith like the first
supposed to be the first wife of Adam,
woman to
but because
Adam.
Eve was made because the other women didn't work because they were made independently, and she was made from Adam. She was instantly his subordinate. Which is where a lot of women, with the whole feminism thing, trying to fight against the machine, but what they're doing is just yelling at all men because it's all your fault because you have a penis. That's like yelling at all white people because, white people are evil because we own slaves. Black people own slaves, and so did Native Americans. So no matter how far back you go in my genealogy, we all own slaves, so go, fuck off or suck my dick. I'm sorry, but that's 100% honest right there.
Or just end slavery all around.
But I mean, but you can't do that.
Why not?
Because if you stop the slaves from being slaves,
Right.
100% instantly, straight off, they can't work. They're homeless people. So a lot of the farmers hired them as their crew to work on the farms and plantations they owned. That's why there was more black men in the brain. You have the Union Army and then you have the Confederate Army. There was more black men in the Confederate Army than there was in the North Union Army. Yeah, one of those lovely little facts. Well, Southerners are racist. No. Some people were smart. The people who actually owned slaves and had enough money and knew that you couldn't just throw people to the wind and here's hoping you make it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Who actually tried to help them. There were a few of them that did that. And that's the funny part. It's like, well, you're evil because you're white. I have no privilege. I'm poor white trash just like you, poor white nigga. So shut up.
I'm just thinking about the fact that you said that Adam had 6 wives before Eve.
5 to 9, somewhere in that. I mean, it's in some of the old Jewish, like, what we consider the Old Testament stories that got taken out when they organized the Bible.
Yeah.
That was some of the stories that came taken out, like the book of from the Dead Sea Scrolls. One of the books, the book of the guy who basically kissed Jesus to tell him that's who Jesus was.
Yeah.
I'm having a brain fart, but it's another J name. Jehovah?
Job?
No, it's
John? There's only so many J names in
yeah. That's the issue.
there. Jimmy?
I don't know. You'd have to look it up.
Jack?
No,
Jack off.
could be a jackass.
What if that was his name? Is Jackass?
No, that's not his name.
See here. Which guy?
No, which apostle
Which apostle kissed?
portrayed God? Jesus.
Betrayed Jesus. Oh, that actually was like a top search on Google.
Yeah.
Judas.
Thank you. See, I knew it was a J name.
Yep. Yep.
I had a brain fart.
Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, identifying him with a kiss in
On
front
the
of Roman
cheek.
soldiers. Later, the guilt-ridden Judas returns the bribe and commits suicide.
Attempts to commit suicide.
This just says commit suicide. This just says he offed himself.
But if you actually look it up in the scriptures, I think it says he attempted to off himself, but couldn't off himself because that was God's punishment. The original vampire, by some people's points of view. I've heard that from somewhere at one point. I'm like, I'm gonna have to relook that back up. Not quite there on the discussion for scriptures this year, but I mean I'm a little ahead anyway, so I might have to backtrack a little because I think I already passed that part too.
Well, if you've already listened, if you guys have already like read or listened to your scriptures a million times, does it really matter if you do it again?
Dude, I don't. I'm bad at reading. I was waiting for it to become verbal, you know, like CD, or like it is now on my phone. I can just listen to it.
Yeah.
Because now I can, like, okay, somebody said this at one point on a TV show or something when they were doing a National Geographic or History Channel or Discovery Channel thing. Let me go and look at the scripture and listen to it.
Yeah.
No, that's not exactly what it said. What it said was he wasn't allowed to die. That doesn't mean he didn't die. That could have mean the rope broke and he got pissed and tried it again in 20 years and succeeded. You know, but I mean, that's all viewpoint.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to what I was saying, but when they got kicked out of the garden, I don't think they got kicked out of Antarctica. There was this spot that was perfect in the rainforest.
Yeah.
That was basically there. They got moved to an outer part. And then when Cain killed Abel, he was banished. So when he was banished, the earth moved. Because they were almost like, they had to be 500 to 800 years old by then.
Yeah.
Adam and Eve, so their kids were probably in their 1 to 200s. Because it says most of them,
Just mystifies
they
me.
waited.
100 years old as a human being.
But think about it this way: 20 years now,
Mm-hmm.
you're age-wise,
Right.
but you've lived 200 years on the planet.
That makes
Just
no
think
sense.
of how that changes your adaptation. Where, because I've also heard this thing. Well, let's see, what was it? 2 million years ago, a day was only 20 hours. No, you're wrong. You're making the timeline too long. 200 years now, or 2 million years now, we didn't exist.
Yeah.
Go back, we'll say, for going uprange, before people keeping records are saying this is when it happened, however many years between basically Adam all the way up to Moses, because those are the first 4 books of the Old Testament,
Yeah.
because he wrote down everybody's record that he was being told the story from the beginning after Joseph saved his brothers, his 11 brothers, and his dad, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah.
Because his dad was Jacob, who God renamed as Israel.
Interesting.
One of those fun facts you remember, because it's Joshua and the coat of many colors. It's a good story. I like it. But I mean, it's the factoid that, what if a day used to be, for a full day, from day back to day again,
Yeah.
was like 10 to 12 hours long.
Wow.
And a year was half of what it is considered now. Went through the seasons.
Yeah, the year is about 365 days. So,
Approximately.
yeah.
It's 65.25. And that's changing every year also. But that's also like north used to be slightly off kilter of straight, because that way's north. Now it says slightly, it's like here.
Yeah.
It went from 2 degrees off of what I thought north was to it's like freaking 15 degrees off.
Yeah.
I can show it on my phone too. Actually, I'll pull that one up just for shits and giggles. Wish you guys could see it, but there's not a camera over here where you guys can see it. But yeah, see, look. It's all the way over there. We're like before 2020 and 2019 and 2018 when I first bought the house,
Yeah.
it was here. Because north is here. It was, north is straight. It's supposed to be straight. But it was like here. Now, it's all the way over here.
So, 365 divided by 2, but cutting off a little bit, about 180.
180 days.
180 days.
We'll say 182.
Calculator was trying to say 182.5.
182 will work. But I mean, think about it that way. It's that half a day thing. But it's the Mayans, 4,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago, whenever the original calendar, because I think they're actually the Lamanites from the Bible.
Yeah.
From the Book of Mormon, not the Bible. Because they think of the calendar like the Israelites, the Judaic, think of the calendar, because that's where they come from.
Yeah.
They come from that area. Because the father was one of the prophets that the Israelites, the Judaic people, didn't want to, listen to.
Yeah.
And the Bible even talks about that. Well, they didn't listen to any of the prophets God sent to them. They killed most of them. So if you think about it like that, it's in that time frame. That's when they left.
Sorry, legs are hurting.
No, you're good. That's when they left.
Yeah.
And then they went to Egypt. And then they were told to make a boat.
Yeah.
And travel to the new world. Because they were in the wilderness. Where's the wilderness? From Israel. It's either in Egypt and all the way down, because that's, as far as I'm concerned, that was when Africa was a beautiful rainforest.
Yeah.
It's that time frame, because the Book of Mormon says they were in the wilderness. Amongst trees. It's not that one. Well, I mean, that one's behind you, but...
Is Africa the continent, like, a desert? I'm pretty sure it's, like, mixed between tropical, desert...
Tropical on the bottom, and now it is currently a desert. But think about it this way. They've proven, and they have proof, in the last 5 years they've proven it repeatedly. In the last 10 years they've been talking about it, but a lot of people didn't want to listen. Egypt is in the middle of a freaking rainforest 2,000 plus years ago.
Yeah.
I think they say it was like 4,500 years ago. So, to 5,000 years ago? So before they started keeping records?
Yeah.
But in the Library of Alexandria, before that thing got burned down, they had maps out the wazoo.
Yeah.
They had records from the ancients on how they built the pyramids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the funny part with that is, if that's all true, and they burn it down because the people in charge didn't want everybody else getting the information, what if that was the proof that God's real, and the person who went around and taught everybody how to build and how to be civilized, that all these ancient places, because it talks about it in the mines, which I think that's Jesus Christ when he comes over to America. They talk about it in Egypt. What if that was Jesus Christ, or because Jesus Christ looks like his dad, what if that was his dad trying to teach his people how to live? Or, here's another one. What if it was Cain, because Cain and Abel, being the first generation after Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge,
Yeah.
they automatically, because we do have some knowledge through genetics. They've proven that, because how we fear in certain situations, whether we've been in something that would make us think that's fear, or especially when we've never been in a situation but that's ingrained in us, I should fear this thing. What if, because Cain had the same knowledge they got from eating the fruit, because he was one of their first two children, he, because it hadn't been diluted yet, knew enough knowledge to run around and tell everybody how to do everything. And he was the one helping build the pyramids and stuff when he got kicked out of the group after he killed Abel. He was the one running around acting like a god because he knew how to use the powers equivalent to looking like a god, almost angel level, from a human point of view, because he knew all this stuff, because he had the knowledge from his genetics, because when his parents ate the fruit, it even says, then they were able to have kids. Basically, they hit puberty.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
Dude, this is stuff that goes through my head all the time, because I think about this shit and I hear other people's... I'm like, okay, I can poke a hole in it there, but the rest of the ideal's good. And I store it.
Yeah.
But I keep the little nidbits I need for the way my brain thinks.
Yeah.
Because if he was the guy who ran around, called himself a god, and helped make all these things, like all the pyramids everywhere, taught them how to start, and they kept the knowledge going down a few generations, but like us, we lose knowledge. Because Dad didn't teach me half the shit I needed to know or do. I had to teach myself.
Yeah.
Because And I know my kids, I forget to teach them things because they ask me, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, we do it this way. We do this. We do this. We do this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you've never shown me that. I thought I had. Okay, I realize how big a idiot I am as a father now because I didn't show you stuff that should be common knowledge.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's that thing. It's we're here. The people before us were higher because they could move 20 ton to 200 ton rocks.
Yeah.
Without even sweating, mother trucker.
Hmm.
So if they had the knowledge to do that, that means one of two things. Because it was don't eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge, not just good and evil, just tree of knowledge. That alone. That gives you the knowledge of good and evil, but if it's the tree of knowledge, you eat it.
Yeah.
And it gives you the knowledge of everything. So if Cain's the one running around, because you die in your first day of life, and if 1,000 years on this planet is one day to God, but a year's only 182 days, but yet because he has all the knowledge, and instead of just keeping, because he got kicked out of the group, instead of just keeping to the smallness, and he took his wife with him, what if he's the one who, him and his wife, went to Egypt, built the temples, they tried to copy him, they f***ed it all up and can never copy it, but yet he's running around everywhere else in the world where there are all these other pyramids and teaching them all this knowledge, but it's lost. But he was also supposed to come back to his wife in Egypt after he went around the world. Because he had a mission to give knowledge out. That's why we're at the technology level we are at now. Because he tried to tell everybody the technology, but after generations, stuff gets lost.
Yeah.
And when the smart people become the heretics because they don't believe in the same God or the same way you believe, like the freaking Roman Catholic Church tried to do to scientists who, what was the scientist that made
Electricity?
no, the look into the telescope, into the yeah, that's right, telescope.
Yeah, telescope. To look into
Looks
the
looks
sky
into
and
the
see
universe.
And see the
Yeah,
planets.
and when he told them, I think this is in the 1400s, 1500s, I don't remember. Correct me in the comments. But he told them that we weren't the center planet of the universe. The sun was the center of the universe, and we rotated around it, and they called him a heretic and all this other shit.
Yeah.
Because God put us here. This means we're the center of the universe.
The story you're talking about, I just don't know the name of the person.
But you know what I'm talking about, yeah. But the thing is, for me too, if he got moved, and after Cain and Abel fought and died, because all of Adam's other wives that were created, basically being his equals, were sent out and breed it with the other humanoid around the world.
Yep.
That's where we get all of our different. Well, it's not Homo sapien. It's this. It's that. Hey, look, we found a new species. Hey, look, we found this. Hey, look, we found this.
Yeah.
We all come from the same gene pool. It's just, let's see which one we get this time. Fuck, that's not what I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Or it's the one that was here from the previous version of humans that died off, that built the pyramids or did all this stuff.
Yeah.
See, I can go both ways. It happened before Adam and Eve, and Cain killed Abel.
Yeah.
Or it happened after Cain killed Abel because he got kicked out of the group. So he's roaming the whole world trying to teach them all the knowledge he has on how to do everything. But when Adam and Eve went to sleep before they got pulled out of the garden, God fixed the world and put it back this way. That's why Israel and Jerusalem is where it is, because that's where he put them. Because I like how it says the Garden of Eden is between this river and this river that meet at this river. Okay, rotate the world, because all they did was, this is the name of this river, and this is the name of this river. You're here. Oh, we'll just put that name on this river, and this river, because this isn't exactly where we lived before.
Yeah.
We're just putting names from where we were and where we were told what it was to where we were moved to.
Yeah.
Like everywhere you move, this is my house. Whether you own it or not, this is my home. This is where I live. Whether you own it or not, that is your language.
So how did he move them, geographically speaking, from where they were?
Okay, think about it this way. God can make a planet, right?
Yeah.
Which means, technically, he's an extraterrestrial. What if all of these UFOs, IEDs, or whatever they're called now,
Yeah.
are just angels coming and checking on us?
Interesting.
They're so technologically advanced, they're called God because they can do whatever they want, because he got to the level where he can't be stopped by anything we can do because he's so high above us. And the angels who became the gods, like I've talked about previously in other episodes, for the rest of the world, also come to check on us. The fallen angels come back to check on us because they were technologically advanced also. That's where you get the Nephilims from the giants and a few other different versions, like scimitars, what's the bull one? Minotaur?
Yeah, the
And other stuff like that. What if
Yeah.
those are the children of the angels because they transformed into
creatures?
animals, or because their genetics, when they tried to, or after they had sex with a woman, didn't create a human baby because it's such a different
Genetic code.
from our genetic code.
Yeah.
Like it has an extra, because ours is supposed to be 2, right?
Yeah.
What if theirs is 3? So it adds in stuff, so that way you get abnormalities like the scimitar, the mentor, and I can't remember the other one. It's from Percy Jackson, the friend with the horns and the
Satyrs?
hoof feet. Yes, that.
Hmm.
And other stuff like it. But
Yeah.
I'm saying those specifics.
Yeah.
What if all that stuff is because of the way the genetics works with the human genome when it's added to it?
Very interesting. What's even more interesting is the fact, depending on what religion you talk about, whether it's the pagan religion,
Religions.
which would believe that those creatures come from Baphomet, or the goat god, or
Or
if
Zeus
you're-
from fucking
yeah. Or if you've got
a bull.
or if you got
Or fucking a woman as a bull.
any of the insert here Catholic or Christian like religions that would claim that because it's a
Okay.
goat or a bull, it's from the devil.
Catholicism, Catholics,
Mhm.
their church, just by the description of their church or the way it runs,
Yeah.
it's quite literally Satan's church.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Catholicism, Catholics, Pope. It's trying to do what Jesus did,
Right.
but because they didn't copy it or do like they were supposed to, like they were being taught by the apostles or the apostles,
Yeah.
after the apostles got old and tried to pass along the message.
Mhm.
They're literally Satan's church because they thought they were talking to an angel, because he's an angel, but they were actually talking to Lucifer, Samael, Satan, even though Satan's a bad name. Lucifer and Samael, those are the names I prefer to use for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's who they were talking to. He is an exalted being because he was born as an archangel.
Yeah. He's
Just
archangel,
like
so.
Adam's spirit is Michael. And Noah's spirit, I think, is Gabriel. Yeah. It got brought up in church at one point, and I had to look it up. You can actually look up which prophets in the Old Testament spirits were archangels. Noah and Adam are the two that are archangels. Because Noah restarted the earth, restarted the population, and so did Adam. So think about it this way. What if the whole thing that I said about Cain going out and telling everybody how to do this, and then the world becomes so bad, only Noah, his wife, and their 3 sons and, I think it's 3 sons and daughter-in-laws, are the only ones on the boat, then basically that cancels out anybody being a relative of Cain unless one of the daughter-in-laws was a descendant of Cain and nobody knew, or God didn't tell them because he told Cain that his lineage would go on to the end of time and there would always be something on his descendants. There was a sign on his descendants that would never leave. That everybody would have. And that's where we go into what I was talking about earlier about, or this has been maybe a month or 2 back or a few weeks back, about how, what if birthmarks are the mark that prove you are a descendant of Cain?
Oh, that's right. You talked about that.
Yes. That was around Christmas.
Yeah, you talked about how any kind of birthmarks or quote-unquote defects that science says is a defect is actually just a mark of Cain.
Yeah. And I'm serious about that stuff because, I mean, in my brain it works.
That would definitely explain my anger issues.
But see,
I've got
who
quite
are
a
the
few.
angriest nations? Italians, Germans, Scottish, Irish.
Yeah.
The Nordics, Norway, Sweden. What's the other one up there? Norway, Sweden. Are there only 2? There's one other up there I'm having a brain
Oh,
fart.
that's interesting. What if
Because that's also the Aryan nation.
Yeah.
What if the descendants of Cain are the oddball in the genetics, the blue eyes and the blonde hair when you're a baby? What if being Aryan nation like the Nazis thought were the perfect, actually not perfect, they're the most evil? That means I've been evil since day one because blonde hair, blue eyes, I'm sorry, I got it to a T. But inside my blue eyes are pure gray black eyes.
Mine are more hazel.
Yeah.
More gray.
Which
than
means,
hazel.
but the hazel is the mixture of brown and blue. Because the dominant and pure color until an abnormation, until a genetic mutation happened, was brown hair, brown eyes. So blonde hair and blue eyes changed brown eyes into hazel and changed brown hair into redheads.
It's funny.
Redheads and green eyes or hazel eyes are the mixture of the pure brown hair, brown eyes, and the mutation from Cain, possibly blonde hair, blue eyes.
What's even more interesting about this that you're talking about is that I think I was 14 or 15 years old when, I'm trying to remember if it was the teacher of chemistry, Mr. Ashley, or if it was the biology teacher, Miss Ashley. Not related, not married. Just the same
Just
last
same name.
Yeah.
Are y'all related? No!
They claim to not be related and they claim to not be married, so it just happen to have the same last name. But basically,
That's my weekend fuck buddy. We don't talk about that shit at school though. That's work.
But,
be an easy transition, not have to change your name, just sign paperwork. But keep going. Sorry, I thought it was a funny hoo-ha.
It was. It was so funny it distracted me. But basically, he was trying to explain the fact that, like, he was a version of what you just said was explained in the class.
That blonde hair and blue eyes is
And
supposedly
he
the
was using
mutation.
math, and he was using chemistry with biology to explain genetic code, explain frequency rates, and explain it, like, depending on how many children are had within a marriage or how many generations
It talks
pass,
about
it'll turn into halves or divisions.
Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, and after Cain killed Abel, they had another 1 or 2 sons that it talks about in the Bible. I don't remember how many dollars they had. It mentions them once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the Bible, and that's about it.
And
It tells you who the dad was, how many kids, which one was the main one that was the next prophet, and next.
And he said every so often a generation will reset genetic code as well.
Every 3 generations.
Yeah, it talks about
that's my viewpoint,
genetic
though.
code being reset after a certain
But see,
point.
my thing is the genetic code reset to original or reset to the mutation? Because you can have it reset to both.
He said that he said it's like a shuffle. Like rolling
But that's
dice.
what I'm saying. If you're saying it resets every so often, what if it's every 3 generations? You have blonde hair, blue eyes all the way down, but the one kid, the first kid, brown hair, brown eyes. And in the brown hair, brown eyes family, the first kid every 3 generations.
Well, blue eyes.
Every randomly 3 generations you have a blonde hair, blue eyed kid. And nobody knows where it comes from because 5 generations back, on both sides, that color was the color of the main person in the family that they don't take into account, and it resets.
Well, the blonde hair, blue eye is actually a recessive gene, whereas brown hair is a dominant gene. Brown hair, brown eyes, or
But
red
both
hair,
both my
brown
parents
eyes.
have dark hair.
Right, but what he said is that the brown hair or the brown
It's the
eyes
dominant one.
is the dominant gene. And
But
blue
I've
hair,
also
or blonde
seen
hair, blue
blonde
eyes
hair.
is the recessive.
But I've also seen where 2 brown hair, brown eye people
Yeah.
had a kid, blonde hair, blue eyes. He didn't think it was his. They went and got a genetic test. 100% his and his wife's.
Yeah.
No bullshit. But it's the thing that could actually, I mean, if you think about it, what if that's a reset because they've become so muddled or mixed with everybody else's blood?
Yeah.
Their kid was the reset to, no, you are from Cain. You need to know.
Well, it's also the fact that, the genetic code is not...
It doesn't
something
work
you
how
can see.
people thinks it works.
Yeah.
That's what I love. It's like, no, all of my family's this. I don't know why I'm like this, because your mom fucked the goddamn milkman. That's the old joke. Mom
Yeah.
banged the milkman, or mom banged the mailman. One of the 2 guys who always came to the house every day. That was the old joke. That's
Yeah.
why you're the oddball in the family. That's why you don't look like everybody else. But what if it's not you don't look like everybody else? You're going back to the original genetics where you look as close to the originals
as
possible with your sex and race.
Yeah, because the genetic code isn't something that's visible.
Because if we also go that route, then what if all white people are actually the descendants of Cain and all black people are the descendants of Adam and Eve's next kid? After Cain. The next 2 sons. What if black's the dominant race and white's the recessive assholes? But then you get interbreeding between whites and blacks, Cain's descendants, and I can't remember the 3rd kid's name's descendants. And here's where the funny part kicks in. That's why you have all the olive-skinned people
Well, if you remember
that are
correctly,
between dark brown and us, light brown. We're what's called white is actually just like that, light brown. We're just really light brown.
Well, if you remember correctly,
We're not white.
Jesus himself and a lot of the people of that bloodline were not blonde. None of them
No,
were.
they were
It was
brown hair, brown eyes. But
It was
he was
absolute
also
propaganda.
lighter skinned. And this is where I think it's funny. Well, if he's Jewish or, because he's supposed to be descended from David,
Yeah.
King David. But yet, everybody's like, but he's a light-skinned. What if the light-skinned part is because because his genetics come from his daddy that are dominant, and his dad, and this is the funny part, is light-skinned because he has the power to keep himself light-skinned because he's the brightest thing in the room, so he has to be light-skinned. Because if he wasn't, he'd be darker than the darkest brown person that people call black.
Well, with him being
He'd be
outside all the
midnight.
time and being a carpenter, I would expect that he was darker skinned.
But what if, because of his dad's natural genetic, because he's the one who gave his son his body?
Right.
Because, I mean, if you're God, you ain't got to screw the woman. It's like, my kid, bitch. You ain't got to do nothing.
Right.
But, I mean, through that, she's making her own kid, but you can sit there and adjust the genes the way you want. What if he was light-skinned like a lot of people think? No offense, darker-skinned people, but what if he was light-skinned because his dad's light-skinned? Because God the Father was light-skinned because the world he grew up on, and when that anarchy and end of the world happened on that world, he was one of the chosen ones who believed in their God. It would be like the Christian God. I've explained this one to you too before, because it repeats itself.
Yeah.
But it's the thing of, he was light-skinned, so the dominant race is light-skinned because that's what he was. But if you were God and you were dark-skinned, you believed in God, and the end comes, and you get to move to the next level where you become a godly entity, and you're black-skinned, wouldn't the dominant race on that world be black?
Well, see, okay.
I mean, do you get my viewpoint? The darker skin God would make the people darker skinned. The lighter skinned God would make the people lighter skinned. So technically, because
I would say it's middle.
marry a tan Israelite Jerusalem person,
If Mary
Judaic person,
herself was darker skinned,
and Daddy was lighter skinned because he's God,
then he would end up being middle. Like Jesus would end up being middle. He'd be between.
that's why everybody, all the painters and whatnot are, even the prophet Joseph Smith, he talked about
he would lean towards darker skin now because he's outside.
Jesus is mine and your color skin, not light, not dark, tan.
Mm-hmm.
You're lighter than I am because you're inside more, but I mean, this color skin, tan. He's still lighter tan, but he's tan.
But he's also in Jerusalem, which kind of goes against your whole
But
argument there.
most Jews are white people. The only way to tell most Jews apart from regular white people is the nose and the jawline. Other than that, they look just like me and you, motherfucker. I've met a lot of them.
I would think that he's darker though, like more tan and darker.
Look up a famous Jewish comedian, or no, even better.
Well, I'm not even comparing him with people today's age because that was 2,000 years ago.
But the thing is, look at the current Jews in Jerusalem. If he's from David, current days Jews in Jerusalem. That should show you they're light-skinned people, and they live in a place that's a desert. Why aren't they dark-skinned like everybody else? Like the black people, or people who want to call themselves black, who are just dark brown. Because most Jewish people I know who live in America, and who live in, or have lived in Jerusalem, aren't that much darker than me, dude. And I've met a few. Hell, I was in love with a girl who had that background, and her family joined the church.
This right here is kind of a mixed picture because you got some ladies who are like darker, and then you got some of them who are lighter.
Okay, you know my cousin Kayla, right?
I have met Catherine, and I
No,
met,
no.
and I've met
Aunt
Kristen.
Charlene's daughter.
Yeah, I know Kayla.
What does she look like? Native
Uh,
American.
Yeah.
She has a permanent tan. So does Evan.
Yeah. Good point.
The rest of us look like this. We look white. So no matter what your parents are, you could be any shade. I mean, just think about it like that. She looks native because we have Native American in our background on my mom's side of the family and Charlene's side of the family.
Slightly darker skinned than her. That's what I.
But see, I'm saying she's a light-skinned native. He could be the same color as her.
Slightly darker because he's out in the sun.
But see, you don't know that because he's wearing full clothes all the time. The only thing anybody ever saw was his face. And they said he had long hair.
Right.
That's like me. If my head's not shaved, I'm light skinned. Even with my head shaved, I'm a light skinned person.
Darker skin Qui-Gon Jinn.
Slightly. But I'm saying, that's the thing. They just look more tan. It's a permanent tan. Native American, Italian. It's that sort of thing. It's still considered white when you talk to somebody who's black and screaming about racism and white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, you're so fucking white, you fucking goddamn Jew. Because Ben Shapiro, the guy who started Daily Wire,
Right.
has talked about it in some of his stuff that he's done. I've seen videos of it where he's like, okay, well, you don't know nothing from a black chick because you got white privilege. I'm a Jew. I come from, the Judaic bloodline.
Yeah.
I'm not white. I mean, I'm light skinned, but I'm sorry, I got just as much persecution as you do. So I mean,
Yeah.
they get pissed at him, but I mean, it's the thing. Just because you're light skinned doesn't mean you're white. What's white mean? I'm from England and Scotland and Ireland. Guess what? I'm also from Germany, Italy, Norway, a whole bunch of other white countries, and a couple of dark countries where people are tan like Native Americans. What? Yeah, I know it's in my genetics. And Italians, I'm already instantly fucking darker tan. So go suck my dick and kiss my ass.
Yeah, if you were to really get down to the nitty gritty,
We're
specifics
all-
and details, saying white is about
Is-
just as bad as saying
That's
black.
as racist as saying black. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, this is the stuff I see on the internet. This is stuff where I go and sit there and I'm like, okay, why is this person being stupid? Why are they calling him an idiot? Oh, they said that. You're the only person being racist, screaming racism. That's why I think it's funny. Black people scream racism. It's like, because you scream it, you're the one that's continuing it going, shut up. Let's not say that word anymore and it'll be gone. But I mean, it's popped up repeatedly about black people screaming at white people about white privilege on my page recently in the last couple months.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. I mean, it literally came out of nowhere. Because one of the chicks who works for PragerU
Yeah.
is a black chick who used to be an extreme leftist because her mom told her, well, you're female and you're black and da-da-da-da-da, fight this and da-da-da-da-da, even though her dad was white.
Mm-hmm.
Dad was white, mom was black. But we gotta fight, da-da-da-da, fight the righties, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And now she's a conservative because she realizes, I want a husband, she's got a boyfriend, and I want a family.
Yeah.
Why should I be fighting for my right to be who I want to be when I can just get a man, get married, have kids, not have to work, be at home, and be happy. Raising my kids how I believe they need to be raised. But she also talked about how she saw people who were leftists, and as soon as they said something that was assumed or thought of to be out of the leftist bubble, you're shunned, you're no longer allowed to come over to my house, you're not welcome in this neighborhood sort of shit. And I'm like, I know people who do that who ain't left. That's just people being assholes.
Yeah, people being a dick.
Yeah, I mean, that's the human race. It's shitty.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also where I think, that's why I also think, and I also heard this from more than one religious person and from more than one Christian and other religious backgrounds. Yeah, this is the shittiest world. This world is worse than hell.
Yeah.
Because there's one in every set of universes from every god.
I'm trying to wrap my brain around what you just said there.
There's for you, if you make it to I'm exalted and I get to move on to the next level and try to become a godlike entity,
Mm-hmm.
the thing you have to learn is how to make a perfect world. Your first one's your fuck up. God the Father told God the Son, Jehovah, Jesus, how to build this bitch. It's his first go. We're not in God's universe. We're in Jehovah's universe.
So that
Or
does that make you a Jehovah's Witness?
no, fuck off. I will punch you in the mouth. The Milky Way is Jehovah's bundle of stars. Each bundle of stars, as far as I'm concerned, is a different God's thing. That's why it keeps expanding. We need more room, because if you have infinite power and you can make all the worlds, the first one's the fuck up, so you have to go after being taught by God the Father, your Godfather,
Yeah.
your spiritual father. So think about it like this. Jesus' dad is your spiritual dad because he made all of our consciousnesses. All of our intelligences.
Allegedly Sky Daddy.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to say it. But the fun part for me is, if that's the case, then he's going to do to us what he did to Jesus, Jehovah. He's going to take us to teach us and give us the blueprints by telling us how to build an Earth. Or our version of Earth.
Yeah.
And we're going to fuck up. We're going to have to go down there for our first world. Become a human. Let dude who controlled this world while Jesus was down here take over our world and run it. Until we get yanked, killed, and then brought back to life because I am the God of this world. You can't kill me, bitch. And come back to try to teach the people the right way, and then we leave. If there's not and if we didn't get everybody on this side of the world, we gotta go to the other side of the world and teach them. And that's where I believe that the guy that's white, long hair, long beard, like Jesus is described, the Native Americans talk about, he came to America and taught us how to be proper. He taught them, and 2 to 3 generations down the freaking line, they forgot. Because, like we were talking about earlier, 2 or 3 generations down, shit gets lost.
Yeah.
Every time. And it's got to be retaught or refigured back out, or that's where you get into, like, colleges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, half the stuff they teach and show, I'm like, you're missing a step. Or like with the pyramids. Oh, they did it this way, they did it that way. You sure about that? That seems a little stupid. I think there's an easier way to do it. Y'all just haven't figured out how to do it. Like, my brain also goes to alchemy. What if that's how they did pyramids and stupid stuff where it's 20 tons? They used alchemy to move this stuff. What if alchemy is not a just shitty, stupid science and it actually worked?
Yeah.
Just on our way to get to the technology we're at now, we fucked up a step. That's why all the alchemists in the 1300s to the 1600s, 1700s couldn't make a philosopher's stone because they didn't know the damn pattern because they were taught alchemy incorrectly. So what we think of as alchemy is wrong because we don't have the technological power to do it properly. But I think we do now because here's the thing. Look at the atoms table, right?
Yeah.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, all the numbers. Okay, so hydrogen's 1, H2O, so I need 2 hydrogens. How many is in oxygen? I don't know, whatever the number is. Alright, grab that many hydrogens, use energy to combine them. Hey look, oxygen. Now, smack them together. Hey look, water, bitch! I mean, technically that's all it is.
Yeah.
You just have to figure out how to take the original atom, the first one, number 1, and combine them.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just combining and combining and combining and need a fusion reactor. No, you need to learn how to do cold fusion, you fucking lazy piece of shit. Cold fusion is actually fairly easy, but me trying to explain it on the internet would make some people shit their brains and accidentally blow up their house. So no. We're not going there. Plus, people are stupid and somebody would fucking try to nuke the world. But it's almost 2. Holy shit, we went long.
Yeah. It's
Sorry.
3 hours and 41 minutes in.
I got on to talk and you were enjoying the fuck out of it. So
Yeah, I just kind of sat back and listened while he talked.
And then you'll make some comment tomorrow or the next day about how you told somebody and their brain exploded.
Yep.
So that's my favorite part.
Yep.
I told this person and their brain literally, I saw it melt out of their ears.
That's fine. Next week we'll talk some Star Wars and then maybe we'll revisit this topic again. And then later on somebody will run into these videos and they'll learn some shit.
Or they'll call me and ask me if I want $1 million grant to try to prove it all. $1 million? That's kind of small. How about like 5 trillion? Then I can prove everything. Let's see you do it.
Right?
I can't wait for that chick, because that chick will be like, I'll be back in 6 months. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go do some shit. Here's hoping I don't blow everything up. Let's go have fun.
I end up creating a whole new planet.
I accidentally create my own alternate universe, get there, and then God shows up. You're supposed to wait. Sorry. Didn't mean to. Can you take me back? Nope, you know, fuck. Here's the box of tricks. Woo! Don't kill yourself. I'll try.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week. My brain's really too tired to do an outro, but I'm TPAW.
I'm the Karnage.
And have a week and enjoy yourselves. And I'm brain dead. So
don't get hurt.